What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer, Nick Scarpino.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for
Doing
being here.
well.
The pure one, Tim Geddes.
Let him host.
The pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Go Islanders.
And for the first time ever, a guest, Michael Rosenbaum.
There he is.
Actor extraordinaire.
Yeah, that's
Back
me.
in the day, out right now.
yes.
Select theaters. Go get it on iTunes. Also Smallville. Lex Luthor on Smallville.
No big deal.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was probably
NBD.
kind of fun.
What happened?
No big deal.
Oh, you're
you go.
putting on my
Oh,
shirt.
yeah, you're wearing your
Kyle.
Superman shirt. Nerd!
Actually, nerd, I'm wearing a Superboy shirt.
Hey, what's the difference?
I guess they'll just give a job to anybody in the DC universe.
Oh, you
There's
can
no
go to
difference.
prison for wearing one of them?
Michael Rosenbaum, you're here on the GameOverGreggy show, our first guest of all time. You're in town, of course. You came up to do Up at Noon. You're promoting this back in the day film.
Yes, sir.
People can go buy it right now.
Yeah,
it's a comedy.
It's a low-budget comedy.
Low budget.
But
What are you
let me
talking
tell you something.
Wait, now let's go back to
Let's
low,
go.
when you
What?
say low budget.
Right.
Because we're used to internet terms here.
When people
We're used to these kind of walls, low budget.
These aren't real? Oh, my God.
Might fall on Greg.
real.
Don't crush me, Rosenbaum.
Might fall on Greg.
I thought that was real stone there. It's like, I thought it was Castlevania.
you laugh until one of them falls on our head.
That's
And
all
it's,
right. That would be
then we're
that's
done.
comedy. We want that.
It'd kind of be like in Smallville when the Fortress of Solitude collapsed on you and we thought you were dead, but then there were all the clones and then you came back at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, that's just bad writing.
Oh, shit, we got to get rid of Rosenbaum. How are we going to do that?
Just have shit fall on him. We'll figure it out.
Coming
It'll come
back. So back in the day.
Right back in the day.
That-
When I say low budget, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I didn't mean low budget. These studio movies are made, guys, for $50 million.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
This movie was made as a passion project. It was made pretty much in my backyard where I grew up in Indiana for under $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of my friends dragged them all out from LA. And it was like a big party, pretty much.
So
and
you
we
get-
shot this,
So you wrote and directed this movie.
and starred in it.
And
yeah.
starred in it. Well, there was that
Seated
too.
much.
But that
Ego trip.
That for you is easy. We can see that that's just like, you just kind of get on camera and that's easy, right? But the writing and directing part of it. So you had this idea. So walk us through this a little bit. I don't want to get too much into the movie.
I wrote it years ago.
Yeah.
And the true story is, I was going to direct another film, this movie called Sorry Is for Sissies. And I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Swartzen and my buddy John Heater and Colin Hanks and a bunch of guys, Seth Green, we're all going to go and film this movie in Pittsburgh. And then 2 weeks into prep, this is independent movies,
Watch the movie. You'll learn how to do that.
they just said, producer says we lost the money. We lost half the money. So I went into a fit, not a fit, but I was just emotionally a mess because I don't like to let people down. It was
Right.
on my watch, and I was getting all these friends, and they kind of dropped the ball. So we tried to get the money, tried to figure it out. It was just too much to get that much money. So my DP, Bradley Stonecipher, who shot the movie Hit and Run with Bradley Cooper that I did. I don't know if you saw that one.
It sounds familiar. Which
But I
one was
wish-
Hit and Run?
Hit and Run was Bradley Cooper and Dax Shepard, Kristen Bell.
Dax Shepard. No, thank you.
How dare you? They're my buddies.
I'm fucking around.
know.
But
You're
did you ever-
not!
Did you ever see Limitless? Oh, Bradley Cooper was good in that.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't see that, but I will.
It was good.
There's
good.
drugs and stuff involved.
See, Bradley
There was
Cooper's my
drugs.
friend, so there you go.
Yeah. And then anyway, so my DP goes, "Didn't you ever write something that we could shoot like in your hometown of Indiana?" And I swear to God,
He legitimately said those
he
words.
said
It was
those
like-
words as we're smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, "Gert?" And I go, "Yes." And as much as I was trying to still salvage that film, I knew it was hard to get $3 million, a couple $1 million.
Sure.
So I had this script that I'd written years ago, and I gave it to the producer of Hit and Run, who was a friend of mine. And I go, "Kim, what do you think of this?" She goes, "I love it. Let's make it." And I go, "What?" And honestly, I put some of my money into it, and she got an investor, and we changed directions, and in 2 months I was prepping the movie in Indiana. I mean, unbelievable. Think about that. I mean, we were ready to film one movie. It gets we lose all the funding, and then we switch gears. I get money for another one that's 1/4 the budget, and we go to Indiana where I grew up, and I'm shooting in front of my hometown, the small town in Indiana. It was insane.
What town in Indiana is it?
I grew up in a small town called Newburgh, Indiana, right next to Evansville, Indiana. Now, if you've read anything in the news, it might say things like, "number 8 in most depressed cities in the country. Number 2
exactly
in
what it sounds like.
obesity."
Yeah.
I was going to say, when
my
I
head,
read
that's-
news, it's more like,
It's going to be your...
Well, and I talked to you about this before, but it was just like, I'm not going to go back home to make fun of. I actually loved where I grew up. I think it's beautiful, and I wanted to show people that. So, I just got a crew, and we got some funny actors like Nick Swartzen, Harlan Williams.
He's really funny.
Marina Back.
Yeah, the cast of it's awesome.
Yeah.
And they got the Old Spice guy.
Yeah,
do have the Old Spice guy.
Isaiah Mustafa, who's really funny.
Who you asked to gain weight.
Well, I have a
for this
friend
role.
T. My
Wait,
friend Matt
flush your
Taylor.
career away. Flush your
Hey,
Old
those
Spice.
cool abs that you spent all that time. like, all that
That's
football?
true.
Yeah.
I
Throw
never
'em
really
out.
thought about that, but we were sitting in a restaurant in LA, and I go, "Would you gain some weight for this?" He goes, "Yeah, man, sure." Would you wear glasses? Okay. Would goatee? Sure. Because my friend Matt Taylor T, who I grew up with, I wanted him to look a little more like him because you couldn't have the Old Spice guy
you
sitting
can't
there
have
going,
him walking around.
like, what is this?
I live in Indiana.
Yeah, he just didn't belong. No one's that ripped anywhere.
It's kind of like a goal in my in life for me now to have someone ask me to gain weight to do something. Can you gain some weight?
I'd
and
like
I'll
you to
pay
gain
some
weight for
money
this
and
show.
you
I'd
can
like
be-
you to gain weight for this show.
No, I'm not
I'd like
gaining
you
weight
also
for
to
this
start
show.
smoking again for this show.
I will not start smoking again for
He used
you.
to
I don't
smoke,
care how
he used to
cool
be
you
so
think it
cool.
is.
He used
Were
to
you
be
a
so cool.
smoker?
when he
I was a
smoked.
smoker.
You know, smoking? Do you smoke?
No, I don't. But I learned half of my life's journeys
I told
and stuff
Tim you learn how to use
because of him.
I
condoms.
learned half of my life's journeys.
I don't journey many places. He took me places.
So how did you
On
learn
smoke
journeys?
breaks. I learned journeys.
We
I
used to
learned
go.
his
We used to go on
journeys.
smoke breaks, and those would be the times that I would pull. Tim started with us at IGN as an intern,
Right.
Yeah.
and so he would pull me, a little wet behind the ears. He'd come in, and I'd take him outside. We'd smoke, and we'd talk about life. It's where you learn things like condoms, proper lubrication use,
Yeah.
how to get a raise.
You were learning all this from him.
Yeah.
From him. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best rubber you can get out there in the market?
Whatever Nick gives me.
I don't actually give him the rubber.
It's like an
That's-
allowance.
Yeah.
All right, you've done
That's-
good work today. Go have some fun tonight.
Yeah, so which actually made me. We were talking about Greg's cancer earlier, so I always felt like the biggest heel. 'cause
Now
Greg's
it's
going
time.
through-
Cue the music, the sad music.
Greg's
Everybody's
go-
over
So
it
here's
on that.
Greg going through chemotherapy, and I'm being there to console him with like my 15th Camel Light of the day. And I was like, Greg, you're looking good. You're doing well.
Yeah.
You're doing well, Greg.
Did he really do that?
No.
No, actually,
smoked
no.
a lot. He smoked
I did
a
smoke
Smoked
a lot.
Do you miss it?
Oh, I miss it all the
Yeah.
time. Oh,
Every
God.
time
Did
I
you used to smoke?
I smoke intermittently.
Yeah.
When someone has a cigarette, I go, "Can I have one of those?"
Yeah.
It's not the smartest.
You're a
thing,
social smoker.
Yeah, social. My
That's
grandma-
okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
Well,
It'll
it's
be
not
fine.
great when both grandmas died of emphysema. I mean, this is probably not something I should partake in.
Yeah, it's not. No, I don't think it's not good for anyone. Don't smoke. But it's occasional.
Or if you can just do it every once in a while and not don't have addictive personality, then don't do it.
Well. By the way, I'm a little intimidated that there's someone on the show now that has a better beard than me. Because my beard
This is-
has a following
No,
on
you're
Twitter.
clean. You're clean.
Am I? I
Yeah, this
shaved.
is really messy. Look at this.
It's good though.
Yeah,
It
see,
goes
I
along
got
with the
intimidated.
look.
Mitch, could we
From
zoom
last
in? Oh, there's no one there.
Right. we
There's
did,
no one
we
there.
hit the camera and come walk over here.
Zoom. That would be cool.
Oh Christ!
There's $1 million app right there. If you're joining us for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, the Game Over Greggy Show, the concept is simple. 4 best friends, now 5, get together every week. Each brings one topic of conversation to the table. Then we talk about it for your leisure.
Jesus.
Can I do that?
No, you're welcome to do that.
It'll be good. We don't edit.
You're an Islander fan.
Again, we don't have anyone to turn the to zoom in on the camera. No one's editing this
Right.
piece of garbage. Whatever happens between now and the
Okay,
time to
sure.
sign off, it's over.
It's
All right,
fine.
good.
If you want to download the show, of course, what happens is on Friday it goes up as a high-quality MP3 on Bandcamp for $1, but then on Monday we post the video version on YouTube for free. So enjoy it however you want to enjoy it. Just stop complaining about it.
Yeah.
Stop complaining about it. That's
Yeah.
That's good. By the way, just a quick aside.
Get down.
Because
on that. Well, not
Michael
you.
told me, was insinuating the Islanders fandom and stuff like that, and I wanted to start the show with it to kind of bust his balls a little bit. He's a big hockey fan. I didn't know this about Michael.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, I grew up playing hockey and loving hockey and all that stuff, and he did too. So I asked him, what's your team? And I expected, you live down south now, right? In Cali.
Well,
So
you're right.
yeah, but you're from,
Bye,
but
Nick.
so I was like, well, maybe he's a Kings fan.
soon as you
Maybe
start
he's a
talking about
Ducks fan or
sports.
something.
Yeah, he's like sports. We will edit this part in
Yeah,
sports.
he's gonna edit. Yeah, sports isn't too high. But I'm like, oh, so and he's like, I'm a Rangers, Rangers. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
And he walks out with an Islanders jersey.
Yeah.
Because I was born in New York. Even though I grew up in Indiana, I still had the sports teams
Right.
come from the north for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most part. But you walk out with an Islanders
Well, I like
I
that
thought
you.
it'd be funny. I thought it was funny.
I like that you being a Rangers fan, jumped to like actual rivals of the Rangers.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's either a Devils or a Flyers, and it was the Islanders.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
don't
no,
hate
he's
the
just-
Islanders much because they suck.
He's just that like the annoying
It's a
little
very
brother.
one- it's a very one-
who's got a grudge with you and you have no grudge with him. You're like,
It's a very one-sided thing. When I went home for a wedding last weekend, so me and my dad went to the old barn to see the Islanders play the Blues. It was a random matchup, and you've been to Islanders games before, and they do the "If you know the Rangers suck" chant. if you're happy and you know it, but they do like the whole crowd does it. And that was like the highlight of my day because the Islanders were losing. They look fucking terrible. But you hear the organ like start the music and you're like, all right, here we go. And then
the whole reason we came. This and seeing the Billy Joel banner.
Oh, yeah.
With those
well, at least we don't have to hear 1940 anymore.
Yeah, that was the
These
best chant.
assholes, fans. All right, even if you're not a sports fan, whenever the Rangers played, because they hadn't won a cup since 1940, so for the next 53 years, these assholes and everybody around the league would go 1940, and it was just brutal to hear that as a Ranger fan.
Yeah,
finally
and
won the cup in '94.
94, they bought half the Edmonton Oilers and they won the Stanley Cup. And then
That's not true. Hardly.
But then, so then we were like, and the Islanders were terrible, and then we had to make this the if you know the Rangers suck chant, and that's all we have now.
Yeah.
4 Stanley Cups from before I was born that we always talk about, and that's it.
Yep.
They haven't won a playoff series since I was 8 years old. So that's
And
good.
they won't till you're 80.
Anyway, let's talk about things the Canadian fans appreciated. That.
Yeah, I was gonna say
do.
we'll
We have a
watch
lot of Canadian- we
the
have
drop off on that one.
We have a lot of Canadian fans.
That's all
All right,
right.
who wants to go first with the topic?
I do, definitely. Let's
You
go with
definitely
it.
wanna
Son,
go
this
We're
is gonna
talking
be good.
about
Oh, you're gonna-
sexiest comic book characters.
Sexiest comic book characters
Yes.
of all
Oh,
time.
shit.
I could answer
You got that
one.
one track mind.
You want to take this one?
One track mind.
Sexiest
for
comic book
ladies.
character is Lex Luthor, man.
Yeah?
Fucking the nicest freaking suits.
Just
Flies
dolled up
on
with the bald
jets,
head.
lives in castles, got a nice, slick, shiny.
So which one are we going? So you're going with the. You're going not with the. So we're going. There's lots of Lex Luthors here.
Well, I'm not as big of a nerd as you. So
I know.
What do you
That's the
talk-
whole thing. You know.
I am though when it comes to horror movies and things like
You
that.
figure,
Can't beat me.
even post-crisis we'll go. If we just go with that generation, right?
does
Then
that
there was fat Lex, right? Then he faked his own death, and they saved his brain and put it in a sexy Australian with flowing red hair.
Terrible.
Then that all fell out, and then he just went to being regular Lex, where he was in charge. He was the president for a while, like yourself in this series continuity.
How do you look then?
Look fucking good.
Okay,
that's
that
where we're
one.
going.
That
All
one.
right, that's the one.
There you go.
Power is sexy. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Power
it
is well, there's there's
Powder
nothing sexier
or
than
power?
Power.
Because Powder was sexy too.
I was gonna say, dude, were you upset when you lost out on that role when you went out to be Powder?
Oh, I didn't audition for it, you son of a bitch.
You could have been easily.
You know, it's funny because when I was Lex, you'd hear some of those things. It's like, hey, look, it's Powder.
That's all you got.
I just
That's
walked
what
down.
you
I was
used to
like,
get.
oh, great,
Like,
I got
son of a
7
bitch.
more years of
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
happening to me.
Is that
What was-
is that
what
what
was
happened?
that
Is they
like?
sign you for a 7-year deal? Is that how
Yeah,
that works?
it's like a 6-year deal. I think it's a 6-year, and then I ended up signing up for 1 more year after that.
So you're like, you knew you were auditioning for Lex, obviously. There was
Yes,
there
but
was
I said no at first because I thought it was going to be this caricature, and they were going to the twirling of the mustache,
Right.
and,
Right.
and I was like,
Like more of a Gene
It's
Hackman.
the WB.
Right.
When have they made anything that it's really good?
So that was a surprise
Right?
to me.
Seventh
when-
heaven.
Let's be honest.
Seventh Heaven was pretty
yeah,
ballin'.
One
I'm not
Tree
saying
Hill.
good. I'm saying with the real substance.
I understand what
or
you're
saying.
anything. And then I talked to some of the producers, and I found out that this was the real deal. That they cared about this.
Right.
They wanted this. It was something that was very important.
Well, that was one of the things that drew me to it, right? Was that Lex at first? He's in. He's
I'm
good.
helping. I'm trying to do what you do to me. I'm trying to help.
I just sort of stuffed this in
I'm
your
just
orifices.
gonna be a pretty face.
It is the power of Christ who compels you. It is He who compels you. Baron. It's from The Exorcist. Go ahead.
Next question.
No, that's what I like. That's what I think that's why Smallville was so good, right? Because Lex wasn't just that one-dimensional character, and I don't know whether that was you bringing, probably not. It was mostly the writers, I would imagine.
Oh,
but
everything was none of it was me.
but they had that frenemy vibe the whole time. It was friends and enemies, and you didn't know what was going on. It added such a great dimension to that show.
I mean, the story before the story. How cool was that when these two used to be friends?
Yeah.
And what breaks their friendship up ultimately? It's really cool. That's a great
Yeah.
story right there.
it really is.
And I thought it
No, I
could
have
have
to
been
turn this
wrapped
through.
up in 6 or 7 years.
So wait,
4.
So they say to you,
Now,
this,
if you take out the witch season, you're pretty much there. You know what I mean? That's
Yes.
when we really got off track.
But it was, but there was some of those seasons, like season 3, when I was starting to go crazy. The episode Shattered. Do you remember when he gets hit by the car, and I look at him like, what the heck did you just do? So there were some episodes where it was like these little moments that, of course he loses his memory and
Spoilers.
every episode. And did he ever have a security team at the mansion?
Yeah, they weren't good. And then he could never figure out how Clark got past him.
No, it's like
Probably ran
Clark.
at super speed.
Yeah, he always asked the same. I always went to the bar for a
Yeah,
drink.
yeah, he always went to the maker.
Another drink. I can't figure out why my security sucks.
Was there ever talk of them using a prosthetic for the head instead of having to shave it?
No, but I started thinking about that. I was like, man, I
Wish I'd have brought that one up
But you know
earlier.
what? The final episode, season 10, I wore a piece.
And looked shitty.
No, I don't think it looked shitty. Did you think it looked shitty?
It was obvious.
Well,
I was upset as a fan. It was 10 years spoiled
As
for
a
me.
Spanish man would say, yo tengo grande cabeza. I have a huge head already.
You do have a big
Okay?
head.
I have a
beautiful.
grande head. Yeah, I have a big head.
It's beautiful.
So imagine now you add a few
Yeah,
inches.
yeah.
And now I have this,
Like
I'm
a
like
cone
cone
head?
head. I'm like Dan Aykroyd.
That's awesome.
So, but I wasn't going to shave my head for one episode. I came in for one day. I go,
Yeah.
you got me for a day. Let's do
I was
this.
going to say, yeah, dedication to the show that made your career.
Hang on,
That's what-
Snapper John MD. Let me tell you something. A lot of people say, oh,
Snapper John.
some people look. Most of the fans are cool as shit.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
But a lot of some fans, not a lot. Some fans go, he left the show. Like, did I? Did I really leave the show? Because I thought I did 6 years. That was my contract. Then I think I signed up for another year.
Yeah.
So did I really leave the show? Was I supposed to do? Wasn't I a little old to be playing this character at this point? Wasn't Tom a little bit too old? I just felt like this was the time.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's wrap it up nicely. And then they went on for 3 years. I didn't know that would happen.
I was going to say, if you had known it was going to be 10, would you have stuck it out 3 more years?
No. They asked me to come back for 2 years, but I really look. A lot of people don't know this, but I started out in comedy, and that's what I wanted to do. In fact, when I got the role of Lex Luthor, my friends were all making fun of me. I remember walking out into my house, and my friend had a Lex Luthor action figure shoved up his ass.
Jesus.
Yeah,
you got awesome
and he
friends.
goes, "Hey, look, I'm Lex Luthor. I'm Lex Luthor." And I'm like,
Was it Adam Sandler?
It was Adam Sandler. And it was just trying. My friends I've known for a long time, they try to keep me down to earth. Not that they need to, but they were just saying, hey, screw you.
Yeah.
I know this is a big time for you, but they were just saying, hey,
Sure.
we're your buddies. Don't get, And so, where was I with that story? What's in this whiskey?
Everything.
It's really strong.
Heaven.
So-
Really strong whiskey. No.
you were talking about the 10 season, so you were.
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
would you have stuck it
would
out
you
for
have stuck
10?
it out?
No.
No, I just was. I mean, for
You
me,
were done.
that was it. And I felt like I wanted to go do comedy. I want to go direct my own movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to write. I wanted to do other things and explore. And by the way, when you're away in Vancouver, shaving your head for 7 years, you're not available now in LA. For
Yeah.
auditions
Right,
for the
right,
most
right.
part. And on top of that, you're forgotten about. He's not available. So imagine 7 years you're bald. You're not available for anything unless you wear a wig. And the Sorority Boys, I wear this horrible wig. And a few other movies. And I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. So then you have to come back and take general meetings with all these casting directors and say, hey, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm back.
Remember me? Or or their new casting directors that never... So you had to sell yourself all again. It's like coming out to LA again. So I knew I had to lay the groundwork to get started again and really build relationships, which I've done, and now it's been fantastic. But it was certainly a transition. But the great thing is Greg Beeman, who's the executive producer, who we've written so much stuff together. He produced executive. He also wrote License to Drive back in the 80s.
no way.
He directed most of the great
Classic
episodes of
Corey's.
Smallville. He directed the Spielberg series.
If you want to borrow my Smallville complete series, there's a whole bunch of great behind-the-scenes stuff with Beeman.
Yeah, it's unsigned. I won't sign it.
Wait, what's Spielberg?
What's
What's Spielberg
the
series?
Spielberg series right now in Canada?
Boom Blocks.
No.
It's a video game he did.
Anyway.
What do you mean? What's the series? He's doing a series?
A series.
He's doing-
He
he's
produces
doing-
a series. And so anyway, Greg works on that. And so Greg once came up to me and said, you know what? The good thing about this...
Turn?
No.
No.
I need you to go fuck yourself. Done with this topic! Jeez! No. What I'm saying is...
He is Peter, right?
No, I love you. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of love. You want an ice cube?
I'll have an ice cube.
So, you want one?
I want to ask you.
I thought we were offering ice cubes.
No, but Greg said, you know what's great is you're the only character that when you grow your hair out, you're going to look completely different. Everybody else is going to look the same.
Well, that's kind of cool, right? Because you have
Which
a
was,
built-in
cool.
disguise now.
It was, and look, it was. I don't think. How could I ever play a better character than that? That is probably one of the most iconic characters you could play, and I got to play it for 7 years. I just felt like that was enough. 160
Sure.
episodes,
No, yeah.
but I loved every minute of it.
Well, the good
that's
news is
not true,
the good news
but
is
I loved a lot of it.
you're a phenomenal director. You look younger than I do,
That's
which is
not
not
true.
saying much.
Well, maybe when I shave.
But you look young. You still got your hair, which is great. So I think you got a good career ahead.
Are
of
you
I think
hitting
that'll-
on me?
It might be. If you feel something under the table,
See,
it's my hand.
I have.
But I can see both of your hands.
It wasn't a stroke.
You know what? Thank you very much for saying that. But, there are people who think, like, for instance, my stepmom, who's Filipino, and I love Filipinos, but she's like, well,
Tim loves
you're
Filipinos.
41, you are single, are you gay? what are you doing with your life? Are you going to have a family? And then I
Just straightforward like that.
I'm like, oh my god.
Watch my fart movie.
Yeah.
And then
watch
you
my
remember,
fart
you're like,
movie.
wait, I was on a badass TV show for like 7 years, so everyone can go after themselves.
Yeah,
Basically,
that
that's
was
what you
pretty
thought.
cool. You know, that's what I always say. No matter what, if I never worked again, if that was the only thing I ever did, and I think people get caught up in like the perception of what everybody else thinks. Like, look, everybody thinks I should be. Oh, what has he done lately? What the fuck have you done lately? The reality is,
This show.
This is us. This empire.
But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
The reality.
Yeah.
Do you love doing this? Of
course. We do.
That's it. That's you've won.
Yep.
You've won. The fact that I did that, I was that role. That's enough. Isn't that enough?
It's
if I
pretty
never
amazing.
did anything
I mean,
else,
it's more. You're not other shows, whatever. But you're a part of a canon now. You're a part of a bigger thing, the DC universe. And
Right.
you guys are actually. I don't know if Smallville's considered official canon. It's got to be
Yeah.
official canon.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, what do you mean official? Yeah, it's
Well, yeah, I don't
part
know
of the
if
DC
they-
universe.
like
It's
Star Wars,
beloved.
so crazy
Don't
about
worry.
that. But it's amazing, and it was a phenomenal show. There are some other shows that they've made that are around superhero characters that I'm not a huge fan of, but that one was one that everyone loved it. You watch it, you're gonna love it.
but I had no idea. I swear to God, I had no idea the impact.
it was you.
I didn't know those people out there, the fans.
Yeah.
What an impact they'd have on my life in every way. I thought, okay, I'm going to play this character, and I just didn't realize how many fans. I guess I grew up with not a lot of instant gratification, not typing on and saying how many people are following so and so on
Right, right,
Twitter. I didn't know. I didn't really follow comic books. I was reading Fangoria magazines and watching horror movies, but I didn't know that being on the show, there's millions and millions of Superman fans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's extraordinary.
Greg
and then
is
all of a sudden, I'm
their
doing the voice of the Flash. I was telling you in the car, in the cab here, at the Justice League. It's like people going, "You're the voice of the Flash." And I'm like, it's amazing. The
Oh, no,
impact.
see, that
I'm shocked by it. It's awesome.
That was one of the things that blew my mind too. I knew that, and then Greg brought it up again. And I was like, oh my god, because I just went back and watched. This is embarrassing. Not really. F it. I just went back and watched all the Justice Leagues because they're on Netflix.
I haven't even seen them all since I
they're
recorded
so
them.
good.
90% of them I've
And
never seen.
The coolest part about the
That's
Flash
awesome.
is that he gets all the good dialogue. He's
He's the
comedic
fun.
relief.
He
He's the
is.
comic relief.
That's what always was fun about that character. People are like, what's the best part of playing Flash? And it really was that everybody's so serious, and Batman's like,
Yeah, Batman's like
we're
the biggest in the
doomed.
world, yeah.
And I'm like, nah, come on. It's not that bad. Come on, guys. Seriously. And it was like
gonna
that
vibrate through
it was that kind of fun,
You
loving
know,
guy.
you're always vibrating. I stole that whole conversation was yours. I stole that whole thing.
But it was a treat. It was a treat to do those things and have, and not to get sappy, but like when you find out the impact the show had on people's lives, like soldiers when they're in Iraq and they come back and go, that show saved. I'm like, well, stop it. That show saved you. Come on, I can't. They're like, this is what we used to watch. It took our mind off the war. It took our
Escapes,
mind.
sure.
And I tear up. I didn't know what to say, and it was just like the people you affect, and that's what it really makes you appreciate. You don't realize the impact. I mean, you get paid, you hit your mark, you do this, and then you realize, and that's the best part about it, really. That for me anyway. And the paycheck's pretty
The
good.
paycheck's nice.
Paycheck
too.
was nice.
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
The
it doesn't
financial
suck.
security for the rest of your life is amazing.
Not for the rest of your life. I didn't get Tom Welling money.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I mean, look.
Oh, you mean T-Well?
who?
Is that
Beef
a thing?
Wellington?
Can we call him T-Well?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Wellington.
Beef Wellington.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Until he shows up to stop me, I'll call him whatever the fuck I want.
Sorry, Tim. To get back to your original, I'm gonna go with.
I'm not ready for that yet.
You're not ready for that?
I didn't get a chance on Open Noon because we ran out of time to get all sappy. Smallville, and I've said it before on this show, or these shows here on GameOverGreggy, which I'm sure you haven't watched. The best live-action interpretation of Superman ever. In my lifetime, ever. Period.
What
End
was?
of story. Smallville.
Really?
A lot of shit episodes, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like when you're talking about like,
I know.
I don't even think that's a knock, right? Like everyone
Oh,
knows.
come on.
Like,
Freak of the week, Finner. She's going to suck the life out of you.
she ate a deer. That was awesome.
Amy Adams.
I know, Amy Adams. But then
Wow.
on top of that, but I mean, like there is so season 1 and 2, I think, are so fucking amazing.
There's a
You know what I mean?
handful. There's probably 15, 20 episodes that you watch and go, this is it. But you got to remember, if you're doing 22 episodes a year, if you have 5 good ones, that's pretty amazing.
Right, yeah,
Usually
yeah.
You guys week in, week out. But, but how did Breaking Bad do it? Because they only shot half as many. That's why the episodes were so amazing.
And it was, total control probably, right? And the fact that they get to break their seasons in giant halves and all this other stuff that I don't understand because I'm just some kid on the outside. But
That's true, though.
Yeah,
But
see,
I mean,
I was a little kid when I was
don't say that.
Fuck
I was
you.
really
How old are you? How old are you?
when I was watching Smallville. I was like 10,
Now, how old are you now?
24.
Okay.
Yeah,
30. Hang on. I could be your father.
that's fun.
I am.
That'd be
Are you
awesome.
his father?
Excuse me. I am your father.
I was gonna say, with the number of burps you've burped in your hand and thrown in his face, I would love it if you were his dad.
I want you to do me a favor for the rest of this interview,
Yeah.
or we're hanging out with us.
call you Dad.
We're
I
chilling.
want you to call me.
I'll
Dad.
call you Dad. That
Call
works
me
for me.
Dad. Is that okay with you guys?
That's awesome.
I support it.
But yeah, watch.
And I want you to call
that
him
show.
Uncle Stubing.
I'll be Captain Stubing.
Uncle.
Uncle Stubing, not Captain.
I want to be the captain.
Smallville was the first show that I remember seeing, being like, "How do they make this every week?" And that blew my
Oh,
mind.
I used to ask myself the same.
It was just
question.
like it was like this. Every week would start, and you watch that first scene, and then you'd hear the song. Somebody save me. And I would just I would be alone in my apartment, and I
Remy Zero.
love it.
No, it was a great song. You know what? I was actually the other song that I like too. I can't stand.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a good song.
Before I ever watched an episode of Arrow, my friends were telling me you got to watch Arrow, and I was like, "Is it like great CW?" And they're like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Is it like the Smallville formula where it like every episode winds down with some awesome some awesome pop thing?" And they're like, "Yes."
Well, they still do that, right? They still go music. Get the original song for.
Arrow doesn't. Arrow's hardcore.
Arrow's good. Have you seen Arrow? Do you watch
I
Arrow?
have not watched Arrow yet.
It's really good. It's good.
Really?
This came out of nowhere. Last
It came
year,
out of
I feel
nowhere,
Like
'cause
everyone
Arrow
hated
was like-
Arrow, and now this year everyone's like, "Yo, you gotta watch."
You
Arrow.
want to know what changed? It came to Netflix. It came to Netflix so you could watch it all in bulk.
Netflix
When I
is
watched
game
one
changer.
episode of Arrow, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, and then I deleted them all from my DVR.
Who's the lead guy?
A blonde guy.
A blonde guy.
There you go.
He's
That's his
yeah.
name.
Yeah.
He's got really good
guy.
abs.
So they didn't pick. I'll just spit on your mic.
Well, no, about the
They
real
didn't pick
quick.
Justin Hartley.
No,
He's not
It's a different
Arrow.
universe. They're redoing it. And this is one of the reasons you were asking me how much I knew. I was telling you I was watching it. I didn't start because first off, I had Smallville. I was still hung up on Smallville. Let alone the fact that Justin is Green Arrow to me, and I didn't want to give that character up to somebody else.
Right.
And so I didn't watch it in the beginning because I was like, I'm over this. I don't need, and I'm totally invested. But funny story about all this, I got to go to the Superman 75th anniversary party at Comic-Con last year. And so I'm up there hobnobbing with all these stars and Jim Lee and all these people, comic creators I've grown up with and love so much. And this, all of a sudden, out of the blue, this kid runs up to me. He's like, "Greg Miller, I love everything you do." I'm like, "Oh man, thank you so much. That means the world." And then I'm talking to him and his, I think, girlfriend. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, was it his girlfriend?" I'm like, "Well," and I'm like, "Wait a second," because it's where IGN throws their party every year too. And so I'm used to being there. Meeting
Wait, speaking
people.
of which, are you going to Comic Con
I've never
this
been.
year?
Holy
You're coming to
shit.
Comic Con.
I've never been.
You're on the
gotta
you
come.
come down and you are on the IGN show. You are a correspondent with us.
Really?
Nick, I don't think I have the power to make that, but I'm making
I have the power to make that happen, but you don't have to do the whole show. It's like a 36-hour show.
Is it amazing?
Oh, it's
You gotta
so
come.
much
Oh,
fun.
okay.
And there's
You
so
gotta
many
come.
fans
Dude,
out
people
there?
would flip their lid if they saw you at Comic Con. You'd be like
I
the
go to
Clooney of-
these conventions. I've just never gone to Comic Con because it was always forced down our throats, and I just never liked when people think you're going here and you're doing this, and I was like,
No way, I'm a rebel.
Yeah, well, I
I'm
just
Michael Rosenbaum.
I just was like, I don't, I never went, but I go to all the other ones. I go to Dragon Con. I go to
you go to Dragon Con.
So I
but you
keep
don't go
hearing
to
about
Comic-Con.
Dragon Con.
Dragon Con's the
Time out.
shit.
So I'm at the 75th anniversary party. This kid's
Super-
freaking out. It finally dawns on me. I'm like, wait, how are you in here? Like, do you know DC? He's like, oh, my sister's brother does one of the shows. And I'm like, oh, cool. What is he, a PA? No. He's like, nah, he's Arrow. And I'm like,
He's Arrow.
He's the guy in Arrow? And he's like, yeah, he's right there. And like, I turn around and Arrow's next to me. I'm like, oh, cool. I've never watched that show. And now I'm all like, damn it. Why did I take that moment?
All right, so
Wow.
can I tell you my
Get
pick?
a what? Yeah, go ahead. Who's sexiest superhero or heroine?
I'm gonna put the Marvel. We're gonna go DC.
Yeah,
because
Marvel's
for
garbage.
obvious reasons.
Good.
I'm going Marvel.
You're
100%.
gonna go Marvel, 100%?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna
Mr.
go with Wonder
Fantastic.
Woman. I gotta go Wonder Woman. Here's why. She's got a little bit of a dominatrix vibe to her with the tying up. It adds that extra dimension of hotness. Plus, Batman and her had a thing. Justice League.
Yeah.
There was that going on. I was wanting to see Batman. Gatorade. I can't do it.
There was a callback to a Gatorade segment when we weren't recording.
We were not recording.
You know that guy anyway, but yeah, you like Wonder Woman.
Oh, I like that for a
That
little
is
little moment, Batman had a little reprieve from Catwoman because he always had that dysfunctional relationship with
Yeah.
Catwoman. Every comic,
I thought that
every
was a really
show.
nice reinvention for the Justice League.
And
to
they were
have
like,
them
they were hitting off, and she was like, yeah, you're pretty cool, and he's like, you're pretty cool too. We should hang out sometime. And then it never really went anywhere because I think it got canceled after
Now
that.
to the dominatrix vibe and getting tied up and all that
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
Have you ever done any? And this is gonna sound stupid, but stick with me. Have you ever looked at like Wonder
Where's this
Woman's Like when she first came out on the scene, have you ever looked at books about that or read about the history of DC Comics or anything?
No.
There was a whole bunch of stuff where she got tied up like every issue.
Oh, I remember.
Someone flipped the script and would tie her up, and then it was like
there was
a lot of
was-
dominatrix vibes in the comics.
Well, you remember Linda Carter's Wonder Woman.
Again, yeah.
She was also in Smallville. She did an episode.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
By the way, sexiest character guest star on Smallville. See if you can guess who I'm thinking.
Terry Hatcher, Lois's mom.
Negatory. I think she's sexy. I'm not going to go with that.
Sure.
Did you say Cher? Cher wasn't on Smallville.
He said Cher. I said sure.
I did not say Cher. At no
Cher?
point did I say Cher.
Cher was so sexy.
Do
in
you
Smallville.
believe in superpowers? I
Margot Kidder.
believe.
Margot Kidder.
Nope. Nice
Margot
woman.
Kidder.
Nice lady.
Oh, is it a girl or a guy?
It is a woman.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not that I wouldn't say a man, but
No,
I would.
that
I
was
would.
yeah. I wasn't. That wasn't.
I'm trying to remember her name. I know the character's name, but if
Oh.
you said the name, I'd know it.
Wait, so it's a guest star character.
It's a guest star character, came in for more than one episode. And I just thought if she was the hottest character. I was always like off screen and on screen. I was like, she is absolutely hot. Married woman, not like that, but just always thought this woman was smoking.
It's while you were on the show.
Yes.
No, okay. So I'm trying to.
Come
Narrow
on.
it down a little bit.
Come on.
Were you on the show when Lois was on? Because she was hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who that actress
But,
is, but
Erica
yeah,
Durance?
she's not my, yes, she's hot, but I'm talking about guest stars.
yeah, I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. She wore all black.
Wow.
Somebody's vibrating.
That was really well timed. All black.
She wore all black. Oh no, she was a guest star. Was she on a lot of shows?
She was on a few.
There's like
Dr.
5.
Quinn, Medicine Woman. What's her name?
No. I
Jane
mean,
Seymour?
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No, but
Jane
she's
Seymour's
not.
attractive
She's still
woman.
hot.
She's-
You got.
yeah.
There's like. By the way, this is gonna kill the people that are listening to the show. There's like 300 people listening to the show right now,
And they're
going, "Oh, you guys are fucking idiots."
Wait, he said all dressed in black that he thinks is sexiest. We're not in trouble for that yet.
You guys should know that. You want me
we
to
should
say
know.
it?
Yeah.
Yes, tell us.
The Black Canary.
Who played the
You
Black
were
Canary?
on the show when she was on the show.
Yeah.
See, I always think when we get to that part of like the Justice League assembly.
Let me tell you something. Go back and watch those episodes of Smallville.
gonna-
No,
Google
she's.
this.
Don't get me wrong, and it's super.
What was her name? Elena?
We're gonna.
Oh,
look
in
it up
real
right
life?
now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
she was great. I'll describe her, and you tell me. She had her hair cut really short, blonde, and then she had this awesome thing where she wore instead of wearing like a domino mask, she wore black paint over her eyes.
Oh, that's hot.
She was really.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Now don't get crazy. Here.
Dinah, no.
Not Dinah. Dinah. Who names their kid Dinah?
Nope.
That's like a 1960s name. Sorry if you're any Dinahs out there.
It says-
It's like a 13-year-old Dinah just sobbing. at her computer.
It says, and this I might be wrong because I don't know how to use the internet that well, but it says her name. Is that her?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a terrible picture. She
Well-
looks like Yvonne Drago in that picture. Find another one. Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's beautiful. But I'm just saying, that's a good trivia question.
Yeah, there you go.
Who was the hottest guest star in the history of
I don't think that's trivia. I don't know if that counts as trivia.
That's my freaking
It could
trivia.
be. Michael Rosenbaum
All right.
says the
Yeah.
hottest one.
I can't find her real name. Her character's name is
Black
Black Canary, but it's
yeah,
Dinah.
obviously.
Dinah Lance is the character's name. Her
Yeah,
alter
Dinah.
ego-
Yeah.
Is it? No, it's Dinah.
No.
Is that how you pronounce that word?
It's
Now I
one
gotta
of
look
those.
at her. Hold on. IMDb.
Anyway,
That's
So
my
what's
my
up
vote.
with you and farts? You like these farts?
well, I'm a child still. In the movie,
okay.
we talked about that. How,
Yeah.
in the Midwest, I had a friend. I can't really do it, but it was called the Garvin, and he used to catch his own fart, and he'd be able to run a mile down the street and then go, and you'd go, "Oh my God, what was that?" He was like, "That was my ass." And I don't know how he did it, but it was called the Garvin. So it was. So in the movie, we incorporated the Garvin a little
Yeah, because
bit.
there's a lot of fart jokes in the movie. You keep doing the fart noise, which you're really good at.
Right.
Let's get one.
He's good at impressions.
There you go. Yeah,
Such
you
as
got
a butt.
impressions.
Well, I should have been a Rich Little. That's what I should have been.
You should have. You missed your
Well,
calling.
I missed my calling. But I always, the thing was, it was sad because I was always the shortest kid in my high school. I was a complete nerd. And my parents used to make me babysit my brother on Friday and Saturday nights when they go out and got shit-faced. So I would watch SNL while my brother slept on the couch, and they'd come home, they'd go, "Tell us what happened." And I would do all the impressions. And that's how I started to learn impressions because I was always home. I never was able to go out with my friends. I didn't have many friends then. But so I started doing impressions, and now I do tons of impressions. So that's how it starts when you have a lot of time on your hands. He asked me, "Why do you remember that whole speech by Hannibal Lecter?"
Silence of the Lambs. Because you watched that movie.
I
a
know
lot,
all of
apparently.
it. I know, yes, so many lines.
See, I had a lot of friends growing up. I just really preferred watching TV and eating. That was my preferred pastime. My friends
And
would call me,
shadowboxing.
and
I was gonna say, no. That's
shadowboxing.
when Nick decided to lose weight. What he'd go do is
were
shadow
fat?
box
I
in
was
the
fat.
backyard.
You were
Oh,
heavy.
Yeah, I was huge fat kid.
Really? super
Yeah. Oh yeah. Super overweight. Like
wow.
my normal day would be come home from school, eat Twinkie, have a couple of Cokes, then have dinner.
How
Then-
old were you?
She was like in like 13. From the age of 13 to maybe 20.
And that's a cruel age. That's a cruel age. For a
Oh,
child.
yeah, like
I
I
was
was-
the shortest. Just being short, I got made fun of. I was the shortest kid. No girls, So being heavy is probably,
worse than being
it's
short.
worse. Absolutely.
Way worse.
Although the fat kid could always beat the short kid up.
No, because I was like a gentle giant. I wasn't much of a giant though. I was short also, so I was short and chubby. And unlike
You're like
you,
sloth.
You're like 6'4" now, so I guess you had a growth spurt somewhere around college.
I
guess.
was 5'1" or 5'2" as a graduating senior. I grew 10 inches in the next year. And a half.
Jesus.
Yeah.
When you was there a girl that was
And
like,
my
I'm not gonna date
wiener
him?
grew 1 inch.
No way.
No, I'm hung like
So-
a large kitchen match.
That is.
That's not very big. No, I'm fine. I don't. Yeah.
Show it to the audience.
No.
They want to see it.
No,
You
stay
can tell
tuned.
on YouTube.
Can't zoom.
Hey,
Alright.
listen, they're gonna watch it. Then if one of us whipped it out, then they're gonna listen to your Islander story.
All right, sexiest superhero is gonna be one you'll have to probably Google if you're not into comics. Adam Eve from Invincible. So when I did the Invincible casting, I mentioned her.
Greg, can't you go with something more mainstream?
No, because I'm not gonna bend to your whims. You all want your views, but let me tell you, I can sum up how sexy she is in one scene from
Sure.
the comic. All right, she finally hits it off
Do
with
I have to close
Invincible.
my eyes? I'm gonna close my eyes.
Spoilers. You're welcome to. I mean, picture this really attractive redhead. Her costume is just a unitard with no legs, so she's just flying around in this one piece thing.
Yep.
Hot.
Okay, yeah, of course.
yeah.
Her powers are the ability to manipulate molecules, change them around, do whatever.
Sure.
That's not so sexy, but Colin.
It's about to get super sexy. Stick with
Does
me,
she
all right?
manipulate the molecules to have like a bed?
What
Like a
happens
bed?
is they come home one night to Mark's room. Mark being invincible. They've just started dating. They've gone on a date. They come back.
Say Michael. Say Michael the Invincible.
Michael, who's invincible.
Yes.
Michael R.
That's me.
He's like,
Michael
oh,
R.
he comes home. He's like, all right, yeah, bye-bye. He's like, my mom isn't here. She's doing something, and she goes,
Laundry.
no, she's. He goes. Michael
Working
goes.
at double at the diner.
Michael says to Adam Eve, he goes, oh, I'm sorry, mom's gone. And Adam Eve goes, that's so cute. And he goes, what? And he's like, you bring me back here when your parents aren't here into your bedroom. He's like, no, I didn't mean it like that. And she goes, be quiet. Snaps her fingers and takes off all of their clothes, both of them at the same time.
That would intimidate me. See, at that point, I would be like, I can't do.
Wait
this.
a minute.
I
When
have-
she does that, am I already boned up? Because that's embarrassing.
I don't think
you're
you're
not.
Is
boned
it
up yet.
nicely tucked away?
It's in your.
It's
in
downward
your
dog.
Dockers.
It's downward
Yeah.
dog.
I mean, you've been
Is
put on
it
your
a
back
what?
foot already, right? Because
Right.
she's like, oh no, I wasn't trying to have sex with you, and then she's like, we are.
Wow. That is
Then they
sexy.
fall into bed together. Amazing scene.
not quite as sexy.
I
as,
became a man.
That was the first time you realized that women were more than just knock around pals.
Yep.
That was it for you?
Knock around pals.
Like 5 years ago.
it was a little bit longer. It's 100 issues in now to Invincible. So
Yeah, that's fair enough. Colin,
Son?
Oh God, I want Colin.
who's your who's your
good.
sexiest comic
I
book?
want you to picture this.
Bane.
There's an airplane
Yeah.
It is fucking Bane.
flying
Oh, you're gonna
in
go
the sky.
Okay. You're gonna
and there's
go
a guy
here.
with a hood on
yeah.
over his head.
You don't know who he is.
No, you don't know.
You know who he is, but
There's
you're
a
not
guy
sure
for
you know
some
who he is.
reason. There's another guy in there threatening this other guy with a gun.
Maybe he's gonna throw him out of
and
the
he's
plane.
gonna throw him out of the plane. But then the guy under the hood is like, well, why are you doing that?
Why would you throw a man out of the plane
Right.
after you've just shot him? Was
Right.
that what he said? Something like
yeah,
that?
yeah. It's, what was it?
It's
like,
logic. Perhaps he's wondering why you throw
Yeah,
a
he's
man
like,
out of a
maybe he's
plane.
wondering why you would shoot a man
before
and
you
then
threw him out of a plane.
So-
in this sexy scene we're picturing, is one of them way more audible and clear than the rest of the entire
Well, so
scene?
the thing
Also,
about
does
that,
he have a sleeveless shirt on? Can we just
He does.
always see his arms?
He does.
Okay.
And the thing about why he's so audible is because he has this mask on. His name is Bane. And I'm specifically talking about the Bane in the Christopher Nolan movie,
not
the third
in the
film.
Not the one that was a Spanish wrestler / assassin.
No,
You're
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
just the mercenary.
Right.
The luchador. You don't
Right.
need that Bane.
Right.
Sure.
Then there's
Not Conrad Bane.
no, not
Different
Conrad-
strokes.
No,
He was
not
a father.
Conrad Bane. I haven't heard that.
Here's
name in a long
what
time.
we call that. That is a reach and a pull. You just pulled that one out of nowhere.
So,
Conrad Bane.
by the way, the joke is that Greg hates how much I hate Bane or love Bane. Greg absolutely fucking hates.
You
him.
don't
watch
love
this
Bane.
channel, you're well
you just
aware.
love that Bane.
I love that Bane.
I
I don't like the Bane in like the animated series or I don't know.
Who was an
anything about
amazing Bane. That was
the
that was
the
a
Bane
great
in the movie. The
characterization
Bane
of that character.
in the Christopher Nolan movie is fucking
Spot on.
top notch.
Spot on.
Top
All
notch.
right.
Yeah, impressive.
So he is definitely the sexiest of all of those two because he's built.
no real plan. I just want to do things.
I'm gonna invade the stock market.
Greg, he has a plan.
Cause
The fire
chaos.
rises, Greg. He tells the guy in the plane the fire rises, doesn't he? That's the beginning of the plane.
Shut the fuck up. That is like the most Goodfellas thing. He has a plane, doesn't he? Says it in the plane. Get the fuck out of here.
So that's where we're gonna leave that.
That's where we're going.
How about
with.
you,
I like that.
son?
I like that. Kitty Pryde is my answer.
Kitty Pryde.
I got a thing for Kitty Pryde.
Ellen Page version?
No.
All new X-Men version?
I like.
Any Kitty
I had
Pryde.
a bit
I
of a
like
crush
that. I
on
like
Ellen,
Kitty
on the
Pryde.
Ellen Page version. I know she was a little bit
She's
young.
cool. That's a cool one too.
I just always thought
She was in a
pretty.
terrible movie, sadly, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, she was still Kitty
terrible.
Pryde, so that's awesome.
X3 had a lot of problems.
It wasn't terrible though.
It was a terrible movie.
Had a lot of bad things. They
not
had the
as
Juggernaut
bad as
bitch
it
line.
I'm the
I like
Juggernaut,
that.
bitch.
Yeah,
That was in there
was
just
one of
to
the
satisfy
first
you.
thing- I know, right?
Yeah,
and it satisfied.
And it ruined it for everybody else.
That gave the YouTube generation that was the beginning of the end, and we're going to the end. ladies and
Macklemore
gentlemen.
saw that, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to be a rapper now.
Yeah, exactly, and it was great.
Hey Ryan
He's the
Lewis,
Juggernaut.
come hang out with me. Let's rap.
You got it
And
right.
then
Let's
boom, a
rap.
year later, that's all it took. 1 year,
And they ruined the Grammys, and they ruined rap
Ruined the
music
Grammys.
for
Crushed them.
everybody.
Grammys.
Completely ruined the Grammys. He shouldn't have won any of them.
Who watches the Grammys?
I know. There was an
When you're
Oreo
married, you
commercial.
watch the Grammys. When you're married, you
Really?
also watch the Emmys, the Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, the SAG Awards.
Oh
That's a
man,
thing.
you're really
Wow.
Do
you're
you
really
smoke
getting there.
during this and act cool?
No, I'm not allowed to smoke anymore, guys. It's not. It's
So
not.
you don't
healthy.
have a dart on you right now.
I don't know, but if you want, we won't go out and get a pack later and share one.
I didn't say that.
We're not going to do it. Tim won't let me
can't do it.
Tim won't let me because he's my conscience. Greg is. It's like Platoon.
Oh, I wouldn't let you do it.
You want one? Yeah. See, he's like the Willem Dafoe, and he's the Tom Berenger.
Green Goblin.
Tom Berenger went to Mizzou.
Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back? Which one's a better movie? 3 seconds. Go.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire.
Empire.
What do you say, movie guy?
Listen, I love them both, but the first was Star Wars, and that was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen at the time. Is it a better movie? Empire is an amazing conclusion to that.
Mm-hmm.
Empire. I go Empire.
You go Empire. That's where you're gonna go.
He psyched himself out. He psyched himself out.
Raiders, Temple of Doom. Now.
Oh my God! Not even. It's Raiders.
Raiders.
Just say Raiders.
Temple of Doom.
Raiders.
Shut your
Dude.
mouth.
That's the one where they step. That's where they step on the bugs, right?
Yes.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I like that one.
Dude, Temple of Doom's intro is the
short
fucking
round?
bomb,
Yeah,
dude.
Temple of Doom's intro.
Kinda racist.
No. No.
Yes, it is. When they're in the club, and that's an awesome intro.
I was
That,
like, okay, Dr. Jones.
dude,
What
Temple.
is it? I
That was
have
a
the
little-
antidote or whatever he says.
I've got the
Dude, Temple of Doom is
Short round.
underrated. Underrated.
No, it was only underrated because it was bookended by one of the most amazing films ever made and another one of the most amazing films ever made.
Wait, so you think The Last Crusade is better than
Way
Temple
better.
of
It's got
Doom?
Connery in it.
You think The Last Crusade? I'm gonna
Wait.
ask this one more time.
Who here can
You
do
think
a good
The Last
Connery?
Crusade is better than the Temple of Doom?
Yes,
A
100%.
lot of people do.
100%.
A lot of people do.
Better story. They stuck
Better
with the Nazis.
acting.
Better
Gotta go.
acting. Better characters.
Gotta go.
We named the dog Indiana. Can you do a better Connery? Give me a
I
Connery.
don't do a Connery.
You can't do a Connery?
I do like a little Malkovich and some other things, but I don't do.
You do
the
John
Gatorade.
Malkovich, but you don't do
Well, no one
Connery.
ever does. Well,
Do the Gatorade guy one more time.
Brought to you by Gatorade.
You guys are
Because I sit on that fucking elliptical and watch Sports Center in the
We're
morning.
gonna get a copyright strike from ESPN.
I'm telling you though, I want the Dirt Devil guy's voiceover career.
What's amazing is you guys aren't hearing that in your
Devil.
ears. It's so good.
Really?
Like the audience is gonna love that.
Brought to you by Gatorade.
It's getting better. The whiskey's helping.
Ear, you know.
Oh my
I think the whiskey.
the Dirt Devil guy.
Yeah, what about Smuckers? Can you do a good Smuckers?
Smuckers.
I don't know. I have no idea. What is what? It's jelly.
That jelly, right?
What,
With a name like Smuckers. I don't do a good one.
With a name like
With a
Smuckers,
name
it's gotta
like
be good.
With a name like Smuckers.
Oh,
Something
Jimmy.
like that. I don't know. I've never done that.
my God.
But I did a Malkovich. Remember?
Do me the Malkovich.
Give me a Malkovich. I want to hear
Well,
what the
I
Malkovich
do
sounds
this
like.
one. It's in the Line of Fire, and Clint
That's where he's
Eastwood.
the that's
Clint
the CIA
Eastwood's on the
movie.
phone and he says, "You have a rendezvous with my asshole, motherfucker." And Malkovich says, "No, what you couldn't possibly know, Frank, is that they sent my friend, my comrade in arms to my house to kill me. I never lied to you, Frank, and I never will."
You are Nick's favorite person of all time.
Because of this, because and I've got,
Why'd you kill that bird, asshole?
we've spent numerous hours now together, countless, one would say, and you never cease to astonish me. Who does a John Malkovich
I know.
impression?
I try
That's
to
like
do
doing a
more
Greg
obscure
Miller
ones. I
impression.
used to like.
So obscure.
I'm telling you, I was doing Walken before everybody was doing Walken.
Real quick,
I,
before you go,
Walken's
back in the, I don't want to do Walken, but I, mean, I used to do that.
before you launch into the walking thing,
No, I'm not.
we're walking to the IGN bathroom, and he's commenting on the pictures on the wall. And you know that really awkward one of the woman with the lobster hand?
Lobster hand, yeah.
He's like, why is this Christopher Walken have a lobster hand? I'm like, well, that's a girl. And then he just launches into a Walken.
Wow, I got a lobster hand.
Oh my God!
It's-
Close your eyes.
It's unbelievable. I worked with him. He's a nice guy. He's very gentle. He would do these things.
This is the best
It's very
episode
subtle.
ever.
He's off, A lot of people go, this. That's not what he does. He actually talks like a human. The levels of going,
They just
you said it, shoot him up. He used to do these weird things. He used to. I did a movie called Pool Hall Junkies with him, and there's a line where he goes, "You said it, Joe. Bet it all." Does these really weird, when he's your son, fuckhead that he is, and that bitch who her girlfriend, they took my narcotics. Now I know you know where they are, so tell me. Before I do damage, you won't walk away from.
I want you to do this whole. I want you to do that whole monologue.
It's
I
been
want you to do the
forever.
whole
No,
monologue
it's-
for the audience.
so
But I like
good.
the weird ones though. I like the Ted
Well, the
Levine.
true romances. That one is just
Ted
classic.
Levine from Silence of the Lambs. Remember that one?
Or you she baby.
Yeah, but everybody does that. But I mean, if you really listen to him, he's like, "Say, are you a man of size 14?"
You're really
He
good
does
at
that
this.
thing with his. You don't know what pain is.
Can you do the?
Screaming at him. Watch it again. I just saw that movie.
I haven't watched it in a while, so you just
No,
go,
I've seen the movie. And so,
are you the Taylor
So,
Swift
but-
goat? I
so-
don't know.
he's got to be one of the most impersonated human beings on the planet.
Let me tell you something.
Maybe not even in voice, but in the
I-
tuck. Do you do the tuck when you do
Oh,
it too?
I've done
sometimes?
that. I go out
done
with
the
my
tuck?
friends. I go. I want to fuck me.
One of his friends had his action figure up his ass.
Yeah.
You don't
He
have
took
to
the-
ask if he's
he
done the
took
tuck.
Lex Luthor doll and just the head portion because that would.
It was Adam Sandler.
That'd have been a bit.
Well, it was-
a big anus.
I'm
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Hey, look, I'm Lex Luthor. Look at me in the WB. I have an action figure in my butt. I don't know.
Thankfully, it's bald, so you don't get any like
Oh,
rough
that's
edge
good.
up there.
It wasn't my ass.
That is amazing. Is Christopher Walken like that offset too? Does he sound
He's
exactly like
weird.
that?
He's a weird guy. I remember I go,
So cool,
hey,
man.
I don't know. My name is Michael Rosenbaum. I'm doing a movie with you. Should I call you Chris? Should I call you Mr. Walken? He goes, I don't know. Call me Flash.
That's cool.
That's what he said.
And what did
This
you
was
do?
before I did the Flash.
No,
This was
so
before I
he-
was
this
Flash.
is the-
This was completely a non sequitur. So the next day I was talking to Anson Mount, Hell on Wheels, who was in
Yeah.
the movie with me. And Anson, I say, hey, well, I got it in with Walken. Let me introduce you to him. I go, hey, hey, Chris, Mr. Walken. No, I go, hey, Flash. He wouldn't even look at me. Flash. Anson's like, yeah, you fucking know him. He's not even paying any attention to you. I go, hey, Flash. Finally turns around and goes, what? Who are you talking to? I don't. Acted like he didn't even know me and walked away.
Awesome. It's so baller.
You're there with me, right?
This is insane.
You are the second actor who's told us
No,
this story.
Nope. That actor, whoever told you, lied. It's my story on set, and I've heard that. Somebody else told the same story. That was me on set of Pool Hall Junkies.
Or maybe he's just telling.
I was gonna
everybody
say, you don't
it's
think
fine.
No, but there was one actor who said it happened to him, and I was like,
I don't think this is the same actor.
I hope not, because
Whisper
I heard
in my
that.
ear.
No, I wouldn't remember unless you said it.
I don't want to dime him out on now. It's a fight. I don't want to.
It's not a fight.
Let's
It's
not
the
let's not
honest
start
truth.
some sort of
No, but
East Coast West
no,
Coast
no,
rap
no.
rivalry.
But I'm
between
telling
actors.
Ashley Johnson.
But maybe there's a possibility. The only thing I can think of is maybe he's done it before. Maybe
Yeah.
he said,
Yeah.
"Call me
Yeah.
Flash." Maybe that's a thing he
awesome.
does.
Because you gotta
Did
believe
he
that
do a
Walken
weird
is.
crocodile thing afterwards?
Thank you.
No.
Okay.
This-
Oh, that was in the water, right? Where he wouldn't get out of the water.
He said it's lunch. I'm not gonna do it. It was lunch. For lunch, I'm gonna be a crocodile. And he took all his clothes and walked into the water and hung out the
And he just
entire
stayed
lunch
like
break
this
in the
with
water.
the water right below his eyes, and he just stayed there for like an hour.
And then he came out and then put his clothes back on and went to work.
And he goes, for lunch, I was a crocodile. I can't do the accent.
You
Wow.
do. See, it's one of those things. You
Lunch.
start to try to do it, and you're like, I'm not even gonna do
Well,
it.
you want to embarrass yourself.
No, you don't. You get embarrassed.
No, I
is
can't do.
Picasso.
I
We're
can't do
painting my
walking over.
numbers
Yeah,
over
I
here.
thought my walking was good. Your walking blows it out of the fucking water.
But I always do weird shit, like the kid from Pet Cemetery. No one, but no one would. Exactly. Nobody knows.
a child. You got to run it.
Listen.
Hold on, I wanna hear the
I
kid from Pet
don't
Sematary.
have a life.
Let me hear the kid
I'm
from Pet
telling
Sematary.
You gotta hang out with us.
Will you
more.
please
We
move to
just
San
need
Francisco and be our
Well,
friend?
Fred Gwynn. Remember Fred Gwynn? He was like,
Herman Mustard?
He was the guy.
Say, I can't really do an impression. He's like, Pet Cemetery. I guess no, it's something like that. He's
Yeah,
like,
Herman Munster.
He goes, it's where the dads speak. She goes, he's like, well, not right out loud. And the little boy, remember the little boy, Gage? Close your eyes.
First I play with Mommy, then I play with Judd. Now I want to play with you.
Remember that fucking weird kid? Gage. No one saw
I
this.
just remember in that movie. What is the gentleman's name that played the older guy, the Hormone Munster? What's his name?
Yeah.
He gets his Achilles tendon.
Achilles,
cut.
That's a rough one, yeah.
And that I was like, I'm
tough,
done. I'm not
tough.
watching any more Stephen
Yeah.
King movies. This is
Stephen King.
He's going up the
best.
stairs, and a little kid. Are you familiar with Pet Sematary?
Cuts it with
They bury the kid. He cuts it with like a scalpel. It's like, oh, falls back, and then it's
Stephen
like,
King's awesome. Oh, he's the
it's
best.
like a misery moment, right? Yeah, that one like
Misery.
hobbling the legs.
Oh, God, yeah. Children of the
You were
Corn
saying
still
you
the
like
best.
the horror movies. What horror movies are you?
I mean, I love The Shining.
Oh,
Obviously, who
yeah.
doesn't love The Shining, you know?
How do you feel about Rosemary's Baby? How do you feel about that?
Mr. Grady, you were... What does he say? He goes, you chopped your daughters up with an axe, and then you blew your brains out. You were the caretaker, Mr. Grady, weren't you? You remember that scene?
Yeah, I remember it.
Wendy,
It's a fantastic movie.
darling, light of my life. That was one of my favorites.
That's one of
Exorcist, the original Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exorcist 3, by the way.
You've been quoting Exorcist all night, even over pizza. It was a little awkward for a
Power of
moment there.
Christ.
Even over
Just randomly, it's like a second beat of Pizza Pachi. He's like, power of Christ.
Do you remember when he says to me, he goes, you speak Latin? And he says, say something. And he says, quad nomen mihi est. He goes, quad nomen mihi est. Quad nomen mihi est. And he says,
La plume de matard. Ah!
Yeah.
weirdest. It was
The
the
only reason
weirdest.
we're not reacting is we're all got a little freaked out.
Do you
about
remember when he
I
opens
just want
the
to see how
door?
far he's got like the
He
entire
says,
movie.
like something with the drawer. Remember, he's like, the drawer just goes, whoosh, opens. He goes, do that again.
In time.
No, do it now.
In time.
Oh, that
So is Exorcist his favorite horror movie of all time?
Exorcist.
Or can you pick one?
Exorcist is amazing. The Omen.
Omen.
Gregory
yeah.
Peck is
No.
fantastic.
Classic.
They don't make stories like that anymore.
Well, they remade that movie.
I didn't see it.
It's good.
The Shining,
idea.
Exorcist
Paranormal
3,
Activity
Alien.
4.
Question for
By
you.
the
Alien's
way, the
awesome. I'm
first
so
couple
glad
were
that you
great.
think Alien's a horror movie.
Alien is just one of the best horror movies of all
So say
time.
someone comes to you and says, "Hey, we want you to direct a remake of The Shining." What do you say?
If I had,
Aren't
to
they
do
redoing it?
If they said, "Michael, you're doing it,"
You're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you get in there.
I would do it because I would really.
Would you put your lead through
I
hell?
would be. That's something you don't mess with. But I think. Oh man, that could be. I'm saying it should not be remade, but they're gonna probably do it.
Are they?
I,
Of course
thought,
they
I, thought,
are.
I thought for sure that they are. I thought
Are
they
they?
are doing it.
Oh, dude,
They were-
Travis.
yeah.
I could be wrong, but I
Yeah,
thought I read that.
They were gonna redo the Warriors. I thought, and that was a travesty because that's one of my.
No, you got to leave some shit alone. I was even mad that they redid RoboCop. I got to be perfectly honest.
I'm gonna go see it though.
Here's what I want to put out there
Yeah.
on this topic, which is not really a topic, but we're just all talking because that's how the GameOverGreggy show works
Yeah.
every Friday and Monday.
Who needs rules?
What if instead of remaking all these movies, they just put them back out?
That'd be awesome.
Released them.
Well, they
isn't-
do that. They do that, right?
Yeah, but they do it in shitty ways. Like Ghostbusters came out for one night. Like, you know what I mean? Like one.
Yeah.
Like on the it's the 25th
They should put it out in like
anniversary.
1,000
Well, I think-
theaters.
I
15
think-
Exactly.
theaters.
What if you gave Rosemary's Baby, The Omen, The Shining, anything a full run again and said, "Here it is, let's go." Would that?
I mean, this is slightly different, but they've
Because
done that for Lion
E.T.,
King. Like a
they
bunch
did
of
the
Disney
E.T. re-release.
movies. Yeah.
well, yeah. And then when it took the shotguns out and put in walkie-talkies.
The problem with that is you just don't
Yeah,
get.
in E.T. you never saw that.
Oh,
In
yeah.
E.T. when they take off over the cop cars and the FBI guys are there, they originally had shotguns because they're fucking fighting an alien, and then in the re-released, redubbed version with the computers they
Yeah,
put
this
in
was like-
walkie-talkies.
This is
They
like
always
back in the
fuck with
day when
shit.
it was only like PG and R. There was no PG-13, so that you know when they had to go
Yeah,
back and.
but the best was like Louis Black did a bit on the Daily Show about it when it happened, and he was ranting because you know how he rants, and he goes, "What do you think they're saying? Those walkie-talkies? Give us some shotguns! There's a fucking alien!"
It's brilliant. I'm curious what you guys think about this. I have a theory about horror films. Just the way I feel about it. Just things that make things automatically scarier, right? Space, which is why Aliens
yeah,
is so good.
no matter what, you're screwed.
Woods makes it scarier. Children make
yeah.
it
Children
scary.
make
That's
it
why
scary.
Children of the Corn is my favorite horror movie. Because I love that fucking movie. And religion, which is why something like The Exorcist is so scary. Just the image of an upside down cross or whatever is very scary. That's why Rosemary's Baby is really good. All that kind of stuff. So I just feel like movies that touch on those little things are some of the best horror movies.
You know what I will say about that is that the reason so many horror movies and so many good horror movies were made in the 70s and 80s is because no cell phones.
Right.
It was like you didn't have a chance to call the police right away. You couldn't do all these things.
Yeah.
So even now, what they're doing, like The Conjuring, it's back in it's
Right.
like,
Right.
going back in time and things like that. So it's harder. So it's harder to become more unique, I think. And
Totally.
Because really, all you had to do was screw someone over was just cut the phone line to their house, and they were just
You're
instantly
dumb. They're like,
isolated,
fuck
right?
you.
Yeah,
No, I'm not. Hey, mom.
they're tweeting.
I'm
Someone's
tweeting.
following me. Someone's following me.
Well,
And
JK
then-
hashtag killer.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true. It's got to be hard to write a horror movie now because you have to find a way for your characters not to have any of these modern marvels.
I did
right?
it.
You wrote a horror movie?
Yeah, I wrote a horror movie.
Which horror movie did you write?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's not coming out yet.
Oh no shit.
Oh well.
Well, we're trying to get funding right now. It's called The Site. My friend Kyle Newman and my friend Adam F. Goldberg. We wrote it
Okay.
together. And,
How many action figures have been up there?
Are you allowed? Are you allowed to give me the?
I can't really.
You can't do it.
But it is an alien type of movie.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Does the aliens
it
eat
like
their cell
science?
phones? Is that how the tension is
Yes,
built?
they eat the cell
They
phones.
just eat the shit out of
We've
the
been
cell
trying to
phones?
get that. We made like a little scissor reel and wrote the script. It's very hard to me. But horror movies are becoming obviously oversaturated. It's like because
come back in
everyone's like,
vogue
well, they
every
make
now and
money
again.
off of horror movies, so let's make a horror movie.
Yeah, let's
They always
Which
come
is
back
true.
so shitty though. There's never like it's
Seldom
so
are they good.
rare that there's
Seldom.
really good. That's I mean like think about like Cabin in the Woods like and I know it's not a
I
horror
liked
movie.
it.
I
I
loved
loved that movie.
Cabin in the Woods.
Loved it.
I'm saying it was able to stand out because it did something different,
You
right?
know what else is good? You're Next. I thought it
No,
was good.
yeah, I just watched.
I thought it was
a couple weeks ago.
enjoyable.
Which one's your next?
You're next.
It came out last year, and it was this whole family's in a house, and then they get like hunted almost like
Oh,
the
yeah,
strangers.
yeah,
all
okay.
strangers.
I thought it
and,
fell apart as it went on, though.
It did, but it still was. It entertained me.
It
was
entertained me
surprisingly
throughout,
entertaining.
but-
And you don't need to make a $50 million horror movie. It
Yeah.
shows you. All the movies now, it's you have to make it for $500,000 to up to 3 or 4.
I made a
million.
joke about Paranormal Activity 4 being awesome, but 1 and 2 I thought were great. I
too.
really loved 1 and 2.
Did
you see,
yeah.
3 fell apart at the end with
Yeah,
the whole. I don't know.
exactly.
I don't even know what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, no,
Did
exactly.
you see
And
the
4
movie
was so
Monsters?
No.
You should see that. It's on
Wait
that.
a minute. I think I did. Aren't they on a train?
There's a part on a
Insane,
train. This
yeah.
is a you should see this because it's a very very low budget indie film that they shot. Basically, it was like a seven man crew. They went
Right.
down, shot on all locations, found actors. Really really good. Not so much a horror or monster movie. It's more of just a
Did you see Troll Hunter?
no.
I've
Is it
seen
the one with the
Troll
giant
Hunter.
troll?
Awesome, right?
Yeah.
Troll Hunter is
That's a-
amazing. It's a
that's a
Norwegian
great
film.
Netflix.
It's great. Go watch Troll Hunter and Back in the Day when you're bored. Anywho,
Back in the
in the
day.
day.
By the way, there's lots of penises in Back in the Day.
no, there's one.
not a
There's
lot.
just one.
So-
and it's
but
a
it's
small
really
one.
it's that like what
It's
is
Harlan
it?
Williams.
You filmed that at
It's
1200
not
frames per
Harlan
second.
Williams' penis.
Harlan
it's a
has
stunt
a small
dick. No,
he has
it's
a small baby
It's
dick.
not his dick. It's
True
a
story.
stunt dick. It's my fault. I should have gotten a bigger penis for the movie.
You can hear about it on Up
True
at Noon
story.
unless Nick edits it out.
When no,
Monday
we're gonna
night.
keep the penis part in. But
Monday, IGN,
you were
noon.
saying off camera that you wanted to film that at 1200 frames per second.
120 was enough. Trust me. It's like it's like literally like this. Imagine seeing my finger. This.
So you said it was small, but
It's
it
small.
was girthy.
The
Whoever you
penis
got- It was
was.
a little girthy.
All right.
Here's
Well,
my-
now we know it's in his pants.
I was gonna say, here's the thing about this whole
Context.
penis conversation
Totally
on
girthy.
Up at Noon Monday.
Yeah.
IGN. I guess if you're watching, anyways. Do you worry about how the feelings you are hurting of the poor person in Indiana whose dick that was?
No, because
you're talking about how small it was?
we used
Yeah,
a
Oscars.
we used
No one knows
a
who it is.
we didn't use a real name. It was it's a stunt dick, Oscar.
Yeah, but he still knows that we're all talking about how small his
Well,
dick
you know,
is.
maybe here's what I have to say about that. I have to say that it was a little chilly. And God knows we know when the air is a crispy, cold.
It's not an accurate representation.
Yeah, it's not. But it was just.
We're not
it
being
just
all we
didn't-
can be.
I actually asked him. That's why I'm a little upset. I said, "Do you have a big penis?" He's like, "Yeah."
Bullshit.
Did
dude.
you
What an
see it
asshole.
beforehand, or were you just like?
No,
I'm
he
not,
didn't
I
do
don't,
his-
I'm
he
not
didn't
going
do
to
his work.
audition penises.
Because really, either way, you're golden, right? If it's super small, it's funny. If it's huge,
No,
it's-
but you know what? Harlan goes, buddy, you should have got a big one. Harlan's the guy from Dumb and Dumber. You drinking at some of Grandpa's cough medicine, are you, buddy? Anyway, we were hoping, I told you this in the show,
Yeah, watch Up at Noon.
that I wanted it to be a... He says it'd be funny if it was like this big floppity dick going across the camera
No,
in
yeah,
slow
totally.
motion.
This guy says he's got a big one. Don't worry.
But it's
It's like
a
a fast
small.
bender dick
I mean,
just
this is a
going.
really small wiener, so
it's
it's not
not
too offensive. But it's I love it. I love
It's
people.
offensive only if
You
you
love
if
it.
you,
You
if
love
you
that
are
small
offended by small dicks.
Ultimately, you know, you could go make a movie that you think everybody wants and try to please everyone, but there's certain things in the movie. Like there was certain things I was like, I'm keeping this dick shot.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
you did.
keeping the dick shot.
I'm pretty sure you did not set out to make a movie that was not going to be offensive to like a mass audience.
Oh no, I honestly said. I remember my DP. He said, "Do you think the critics are gonna like this movie?" And I go, "Fuck no! Are you kidding me?" I go, "This is for my boys. This is for the people that grew up in the Midwest who play wiffle ball, who go to reunions, who." This kind of lifestyle, it just makes sense. People in the Midwest flip out over it.
Sure,
it's not really meant for like some guy who's going like this from the LA Critics Association, going, that Dallas Buyers Club really blew me away. And then they put in my movie with a fart thrower. It was never designed for that. I remember Sandler, who's one of my heroes, said once, he said to my editor, who's the editor of my movie, said
Sandy,
right? Sandy, the editor, who's amazing. I love him. You know I love you, Sandy. If you're watching, you're probably still up looking for porn.
I was gonna say he talked a lot of shit about you on Up at Noon.
Talks so much shit about you. But he said, Sandy, the critics hated the movie. Means we're gonna make millions. Because it's a fan movie,
right?
It's for the boys. It's not for it's not for critics.
It's as if there are quite a few things in there that you're like, if this didn't get them, the 120 frames per second dick is going to.
Well, we wanted to talk about this.
We gotta bring that up.
What?
Yeah,
the dominatrix outfit.
Tim's only critique on the dominatrix part when she comes out, Harlan Williams' wife in the movie, he goes, "This should have been crotchless panties."
I said,
I don't think
I don't
think you can show that many
I'll take credit for
vaginas.
that.
By the way, it was Sarah's first day of filming. She was a little bit
you
like,
do you subscribe to the old notion like get him to do the horrible scene first? That way it's behind him.
I felt like she just has to dive in. She just has to.
You just threw her into the deep end with the
Oh yeah,
dominatrix
she was really
concept.
nervous. But let me tell you, she's a stand-up comedian. She's brilliant. She's written books.
I was watching her and I'm like, I know her. Where do I know her from?
Chelsea Lately.
Chelsea Lately. She's
Yeah.
all over.
Oh,
She's a
she's
genius.
amazing.
Sarah
Yeah.
Colonna.
Awesome.
But yeah, in that scene, there's a scene where she comes in. She's really shy throughout the movie, and then she comes out and she has this dominatrix outfit on, and she's got this whip, and she starts going, to her husband. Stuart, where are you? Are you at the fucking Dairy Queen and shit? And she's whipping and she starts beating herself, but she doesn't realize that I'm behind her, watching this whole thing go down. So she had to come out. That was the first time she'd filmed, and she's like, is it? And we're trying to find an accent for her. I told her to come with 3 different accents. Let's do French whore. Let's
Love French whore, yeah.
whatever. And so she's
One of my favorites.
She
a
had
French
some
whore.
German. She was like, "What is this?" I go, "Nah, it's a little harsh. I don't feel comfortable. I'm Jewish." And then she's like, "Stuart." And she starts to do this thing, and I was like, "Yeah, that's something like that."
Yeah, that's it.
And then I told her to scream, and there was one point she's like, her face goes completely red, and she's like, "Ah!" She screams, and I thought she was gonna pass out, and later on she goes, "I almost completely passed out right in front of everybody," and she was really nervous. But I said, "Listen, I promise you, I will cut this if it's not funny. You have to go balls out. You have to scream. You have to be." And that kind of went for everybody. I mean, there was like the puking scene when we're. Normally, when you throw up, if you saw someone else throw up, you might. I have a weak stomach. I would throw up.
I almost threw up
There's
on
a
that
scene in the movie where one guy's throwing up and the other guy's like, and he's not supposed to know where he's in the shower hiding, and they have this. And I'm telling you, when I watched it with an audience, it was just the laugh, and it just kept, and it was the best thing ever. I'm like, yes, they get it.
Once
So-
again. And when that
Don't
scene's
tell me.
about
he-
to start, and Nick Scarpino opens 2 things of tuna fish into a bowl and walks out and
Why
starts
I
eating
chose
it.
to eat tuna fish while we
Why
watched
did
this
you
movie
do
is beyond
that?
me. I don't know.
That's
it seemed like a
amazing.
good idea. I was like,
Oh,
have
Lex
some tuna
Luthor
fish.
made a movie. This will be high quality.
40 minutes before that, he walks in. It's a
it's
dong
got-
at 120 frames. He goes, oh. Then he walks back eating. And it's puking.
So what's even worse is I had mixed in like brown,
Mustard.
It was like brown mustard, tuna, and pickles,
God.
like cut up into
Jesus
this thing with a little bit of
God
oil,
almighty.
salt, and pepper. And I'm halfway through this,
ladies and
and I
gentlemen.
see,
Jesus God Almighty!
I see this the first scene where the guy starts throwing up. And I was like, they're not going to show it, and then they just keep cutting back to like Frank's
And
Beans
again,
soup.
Nick turns to me and I go, "It's going to get worse before it gets better."
I was like,
And
no,
then
there's
he-
no way
and
they're
you're
gonna
like,
show
no,
it
and it turns back and it's just more.
But it's
vomit
only
all over.
one real shot of the actually you can see a little
There's
bit.
like your editor.
Maybe.
Maybe you didn't watch that
I
final
edited
cut
it with him.
Maybe
Okay.
you haven't seen this movie.
No. In
cuts
fact,
back to it 5
he
or 6
told
times.
me, he's like, I think we might have to cut it. It's not working. And then we got in there together, and I said, no. And we messed around with it, and we never touched it again. And we re-edited it in like an hour, and then we played it in front of studio audiences, and I loved it. I loved that people could appreciate a good puke scene.
That'll be indelibly placed on my brain. from
Anytime
here
you
on
eat tuna
out.
fish now.
Anytime I open up a can of albacore tuna, I'm gonna think
Albacore.
porking up soup
Oh,
from your
Wait, so
sister's
how
house.
does that process go when you have your movie like done or whatever, and then you bring it to like you show it in front of an audience, and you get the feedback, you see what laughs you get and what you don't.
yeah.
You did a
How
test screening
much?
for this?
How much changing is there?
Oh my God! When my editor's job is after you're done filming, he takes 2 weeks off and he gives you what's called an assembly. And this assembly is from beginning to end. Nothing's cut. The scenes are in their order of what you've said and what's been written in
Right.
improv, right?
Sure.
2 hours and 21 minutes.
Oh, I would
he
love
hands
to
it to me,
I would have watched that cut.
and I almost like vomited. In fact, my friends who were directors, Jason Reitman, Juno, and all these, they go, "Hey, you're gonna want to kill yourself after the first one." 'Cause there's no music really. There's no the moments aren't timed out for comedy.
Sure.
And then it's an independent film. You have 8 weeks to cut this thing, and I'm sitting in front of 10 hours a day with him, and we're recutting the entire movie.
So you went from filming like 8 pages a day to then
now,
going like
2 hour and 22 minutes.
we're just gonna hole up in this room
and cut it to an hour and a half. I want it to be 90
You
minutes.
wanted an 80s movie.
Audience
80s movie
goes
style.
in there, and I love Judd Apatow, but I think his movies are too long. I think
They're-
he's wonderful. I'd be in any of them. I'm just saying, I go in to
now
see a
you
comedy. Now I won't. Like he's watching this, but I don't want to go in and
He's
watch.
a huge fan.
I don't,
definitely not watching this.
I don't want to see a 2-hour comedy. I don't care. I want to see an hour and a half movie and go, God, I wanted to see more.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy the DVD. I just felt like the audience is in. They want to have some laughs. They want to say, oh, there's some heart. We got some good laughs. And we're out. And we can still fucking go out tonight. We don't have to be home. You know, I just feel like comedy should never be that long. So I just made sure. And my editor said, it could be an hour and 45. And no, I don't want it to be an hour and 45.
like 1 hour 30.
Yeah, I still thought it could be even shorter. I honestly,
Well, that's what you love, right? About
10
like
minutes,
you brought
fuck
up movies like License to Drive and the old 80s classics, and those were like 90 minutes
That's it.
max, maybe
That's it.
80.
Left
like,
you wanting more.
Yeah, you were like, I want to see where he's going with Heather Graham right now in that rabbit.
Absolutely.
God, it was so good.
But it's hard, the process of like cutting all that stuff down and then getting then you have to show it to an
What do
audience.
they
First you show it to your producer, and your producer goes, yeah. And I go, well, let's let it test the audience. And then she hands out flyers at Universal City Walk, and nobody knows I'm there, and I'm sitting in the back, and it looks like shit because it hasn't been color timed. No color time, the sound, the music, everything's distorted. It's not it's 60% done, 50% done.
Yeah.
And then this audience who you don't know is watching it, and you videotape them, and they're laughing, and then there's some things that are not laughing at, and you take notes, and you say, this works, this didn't.
Right.
And ultimately, it's just like over and over. It's like you're just trying to figure out what is working. And then the things that are working, that people laugh, you never touch.
Don't touch it.
If they're laughing, don't touch it. And so, and then after that,
Don't look at me. No one ever laughs at our shit.
I was gonna say up at noon today.
Yeah,
but
that
it's
never
like
happens.
it's a process. And then I mean, by the way, for an independent movie to get like a distributor or any sort or get out there, it's brutal.
huge.
You don't have any money. These studios I told you they have 20 million of P&A in a movie. There's billboards and there's trailers. An independent movie relies on social media. So if our friends and your friends and my family and they without that chain of reaction of people going to see it, how is anyone going to ever find out it exists? So it's and without VOD and without iTunes and things, thank God for iTunes. Thank God an independent movie could be made and maybe get its money back.
Here's my question about that.
Ask me.
Do you think that's how much longer are we from that being the standard?
See, Greg,
I don't want to go. I would
want it.
see more movies if I could. I want to see her, but I don't want to see her bad enough to be like, honey, tonight you go home, walk the dog, meet me at the Metreon, then we'll go do it. Then
Difference is between me and you is I love the idea of getting my friends together and going to an event and a movie and getting some popcorn and candy and sharing with a bunch of other people, and the laughs are better. They're different. It's like you're experiencing a whole thing. To me, you'll never, the theaters will never not have movies.
I agree with you. There are movies I like that for. I go see every superhero movie at midnight because I love that energy. But for like a movie, a million other movies, I don't, and that keeps me from seeing them in the theater, which then for some reason keeps me from seeing when they come out, right? Because there's no more buzz around.
But you
them.
could still see a lot of these movies. What they do now is they do a pre-theatrical. In fact, you could rent it now for $19.99 before it comes in theaters. In fact, back in the day, you could have rented it for like $10 or $5 or whatever. Now you can for $3.99 or $4.
Yeah, we paid $4.
It's nothing.
I thought I paid $5.
You paid $5 for the HD version.
Good for you.
right?
Oh,
I think
It's
I
on
got 50
Xbox.
cents
It's on
of that.
Xbox Live.
I'll give you another
No,
20
see,
before you leave.
For me, Greg, I appreciate that, but my favorite part of the movie is not the actual movie. It's going to see it with a bunch of friends, and then what happens
Trailers.
after.
And
you
jerking
walk
off
out-
in the back of the theater.
Yeah, you just kind of beat that thing to death.
Yeah.
Putting your penis in the popcorn and letting your
Yeah.
friend John go,
It's like, hey.
what are you doing?
That's the
John,
19th,
I
that's the
got you
19th
again,
time
John.
you've done that, John.
Name that movie. Name that movie.
My life.
Diner.
Sing with
I saw Diner.
All I know is
He's
I
beating
love,
that thing to
and this
death.
is- I know the theatrical
Don't worry
experience will
about me.
die one day. I know that one day we'll never leave our houses.
They can coexist. There can still.
They can't. They can't. Eventually,
Yeah, they can.
whatever's easiest will win. That's just our society.
There's always going to be
Can
movies
they
you want to go
coexist?
see, and there's
Nick,
all.
do you think so?
No, I don't. I think they can coexist to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, as human beings, especially Americans, we just choose to pick the thing that's easiest, the path of least resistance, right? And so it is hard, and it costs more money. And when you're talking about buying a movie for $20, you can have 10 of your friends over, buy the movie for $20. It's $2 a piece. What you don't get though is that walk out of the theater experience,
Right.
And then you start to sort of digest the movie, and you start to talk to each other, and you start to just kind of like. Maybe you didn't know if you liked it or not until your one friend makes that one good point. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's great.
But see, don't we
I don't
still
know if you
have
can get that at home.
like
You
the
can still
next
do-
day?
Yeah, you can
right?
still
when
do
we're
that
in the
at your house,
office
sure.
and we're all talking about like what we saw this weekend. We didn't have the same theater experiences, but we all saw Frozen, the Disney movie. That's amazing. And then we're just like talking about it. Isn't that the same thing?
Well, there's just an energy when you see a film with 500 other people versus two people on your couch, or your wife who's like, "I'm not into this. I'm going to go read the Us Weekly in my room."
And feeling the chain reaction of a laugh. You
Yes.
start to laugh, they start to laugh, everybody starts to laugh, and it's one of the few times in life where you and strangers actually connect for a brief moment in a theatra.
90 minutes if you're going to see your movie.
What's that?
4 hours if you see a normal movie. 90 minutes if you see Back in the Day.
That's true.
Just a brief 90 minutes, and you're in. You're
Back
in.
in the day, I mean, you can honestly, it's good for indie movies. It's good for when I shot this, it was good for the community.
What did you shoot back in the day on? Was that digital?
What's that?
Did you shoot it on Red?
No, I shot it on an Alexa.
Alexa,
Digital
okay.
camera,
Makes
but
a big
That was-
they're
I'm a huge
very,
fan of the
very
Alexa.
durable. They're very,
Yeah.
and they have the most film
Yeah.
Red
Red gets all the buzz, but Alexa.
Right.
a lot
Reds
of
kind of
films are
break
showing
down a little bit, I think.
that. A little bit.
Don't they?
We're not going to talk shit. If
The
they
air-
decide to sponsor the show one day.
No, I'm not
then
saying
they'll-
that.
they'll-
Camera.
The only
The-
camera
The
Game
area
Over
is pretty
shoots.
much you can just take a shit on it.
I was fortunate enough to work with an Arri one time, the Alexa, where it
loved
just
it.
come out. It's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah.
It feels it's sturdy. It's easy to set up, and it's just ready to rock and roll. It gives it beautiful. A lot. What?
I work with an Alexis.
Oh yeah, Alexis. I loved Alexis. Where is she? I thought they were all coming out to hang
They're
out.
coming out later. They're gonna come out.
And
tonight.
I'm around dudes.
Sorry.
You're loving it. You're having a great time. You're over here talking hockey with this nerd.
Sorry, I don't know what you want me to tell
It's
you.
getting.
Besties.
I can understand it.
It's
Let's
getting
all take
hot
a
in
shot
here.
real quick, right?
You want to do a shot?
I only have a little bit. I'm a lightweight.
want me to get shot
No, I already
glasses?
have alcohol.
What do you mean? What are you freaking out about?
Hey,
Nothing
how are
coming out of the
you?
Don't get in my face.
Hey, Craig, leave me alone, will ya? My dad was an alcoholic. All right.
You are an uncanny
It's my
impressionist.
favorite. It's so good. I just want to close my eyes and just listen to a half an hour of it and pretend he's still with us.
Rodney. Oh man.
I loved him, didn't you?
Oh God, yes.
Cheers.
Was there?
Hey, here's to whoever's watching. First of all,
Cheers.
here's to the fans, the friends, the camaraderie.
My mom.
Your mom. Your mom.
Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
Is it Jamie Kennedy?
Jamie Kennedy is his mom's name. Not the
It's not the
comedian.
Jamie Kennedy experience guy.
He's awesome. Not Scream, Jamie Kennedy.
No, he was great in Scream. Let's not lie.
He was
Phenomenal.
brilliant.
Another
Furious
great
Jamie
horror
Kennedy?
movie.
Brilliant. Was he in that?
Yes, he was.
I didn't see that. I never
Jamie
saw
Kennedy was in
Fast
Fast and
and
the
the
Furious?
They're trying to get me to watch Fast and the Furious.
I know,
we
just
go.
fucking drop
Wasn't
it.
he?
I don't think he
Just
was.
drop
The
it.
first one?
I don't think he was.
No.
Damn, am I really?
He might be tripping.
Beastmaster, Beastmaster, or Sword and the Sorcerer, or Conan the O'Brien. Conan the O'Brien.
No one in their right mind is picking Beastmaster over Conan the Barbarian. No one's
I
picking
will.
that.
Beastmaster, Don Coscarelli, right here.
Not gonna happen.
It's gonna be Conan the O'Brien.
Wasn't Conan the Barbarian a Dino De Laurentiis? Was it a De Laurentiis film?
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, you can't beat Schwarzenegger and Conan the Barbarian. He was as jacked as humanly possible. In
Yeah,
that
but
movie.
I'm the Beastmaster.
With what was,
Tim
what was that guy's
Singer.
name?
Mark Singer.
Mark Singer.
Tim,
That
you texting
movie
your
gave me,
girlfriend?
by the way.
What?
You
First
texting
scene
your
of that
girlfriend?
movie,
No, I'm looking
where
at Jamie
the
Kennedy.
king and queen are having, she's pregnant, and the witch kind of sneaks in and puts that stuff on their neck that
Yeah.
paralyzes them. Nightmares
Oh, yeah,
for
how
like
about those
months.
How about those
Really
things in the
low?
Beastmaster that
that wrap
up
you, and then they
drain
drain you of
Didn't
all your
watch this
fluids.
movie.
Dude, the 80s
See,
was just a fucked up time.
You're
for
talking
film.
about turnoffs and stuff. Like for me, like there's a realm of fantasy I just can't get into.
Breakfast Club
I love Breakfast Club.
or 16 Candles.
Breakfast Club.
Every time. Breakfast Club.
Don't make me
Both
choose between
excellent.
my two children.
Both excellent. Breakfast Club.
Oh, sexy girlfriend. I don't know.
Where is my automobile?
Now, if you're asking me which movie do which movie is a better movie? Breakfast Club. Which one do I want to watch right now?
Candles.
16 Candles. You got everyone in that movie. You got both. You got like 9 Cusacks in that movie. You got Anthony Michael Hall. You got Molly Ringwald.
Before he got jacked.
You got Jake Ryan, who didn't really do too much after that, but he was so awesome. It's like, how did they get him into that thing? No one knows. It's one of the movie marvels of the 80s.
Jake's my boy.
God, it was so
You never bagged the
That's an
babe.
excellent
Look,
movie.
I appreciate not laughing. That's one of the best movies ever. It really is. Hey, it was your sister's birthday. We all forgot. Classic. That was the kid from Kramer versus Kramer.
Kramer was great.
Really?
No.
Excellent.
That was, the
Excellent.
kid
Was it
from Kramer
really?
versus Kramer.
God.
I love that movie.
80s movies. Favorite 80s movie of all time? Go.
Ghostbusters.
Well, you know
Taylor.
my favorite movie of all time is Arthur with Dudley Moore. I
Who,
just love
by the
that
way,
comedy.
none of us got the reference except for Colin's girlfriend who came out of the bathroom to yell.
Yeah, I told you that's one of her favorite. Like when I first started dating her, 5
Not
years
the not the new one.
No, the old
Dudley
one.
Moore.
Well,
old
I,
one.
I had never seen that movie when I had first started dating her. She's like, we have to watch Arthur, and I'm like, what? She's like, Arthur's one of my favorite movies. We have to watch Arthur. And she did. She came fucking running out of the
good,
bathroom
that
like a
movie.
bat out of hell.
That movie's so good.
So
Remember
good.
when he says, so tell me about yourself. She says, well, when I was 6, my mother left us. Oh, no, when I was 6, my mother died. Oh, God damn it. No, that's the children? I mean, she died. And when I was 12, my father left. So you had 6 relatively good years.
Do you know when I was a child,
So good.
there was a time when I confused Arthur with The Toy. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, I like that movie.
Do you remember that movie
Wait,
with
Jackie
Rick-
Gleason?
Jackie
Richard
Gleason,
Pryor,
Richard Pryor.
Jackie
Yeah.
Gleason, where they hire him to be the toy.
Yeah.
And he's just
A little
taking the kid.
racist, though, that movie.
Very
know,
racist.
Now,
But
but
it was purposely racist. They addressed that in the
yeah.
film. He's like, this is completely ridiculous. And but I loved that movie too. God, I love the 80s. I
My
miss them.
favorite
80s,
Dudley
man.
Moore movie is when he ate the candy canes. It was a Christmas movie. Remember this? There was candy canes that made you fly.
You made this up.
This is all I know about Dudley Moore. Thank you.
That's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Good.
Vacation
Good.
or Christmas Vacation?
Oh, dude.
I'm gonna get crucified for this, but I'm going Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I got to give it up for
I
Christmas
gotta say
Vacation.
so too.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation.
I could watch that a million times.
million times.
That's why.
That it's one of the I don't like Christmas movies, but like I don't for some reason that one doesn't feel like a Christmas movie. If that makes sense, it
No.
comes
Yeah.
on and it's like I just love that family and that dynamic.
Dad,
And Clark.
Mom, I
Best-
can't feel my legs. Mom, I can't feel my feet. Clark, Audrey's frozen from the waist down.
God, she was. Oh, Beverly D'Angelo too.
It's
So,
so-
hot.
It's
The
so
whole
good. They're
series
doing
so
another
hot.
one, right? They're doing another
better.
one?
Best Christmas
Right?
movie.
I love the old Navy
So
commercials.
If I pitched one, the new line, they're gonna steal it. I know it. Bastards.
Best Christmas movie. A Christmas Story, or Die Hard.
Die Hard's not a fucking Christmas movie. Just because.
It happens during Christmas. They play it during Christmas. I watch it every Christmas.
You know what?
On
Bad
AMC.
Santa's pretty fucking good.
Bad Santa's amazing.
Bad Santa's
Home Alone.
amazing. Best
gotta
Adam
go with that.
Sandler film. Go now.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Now.
Billy Madison.
You go Billy Madison.
Wedding Singer.
Happy
Oh.
Gilmore.
Oh,
I
that's
go
a
Happy
good one.
Gilmore. I go
That's a
Happy
good
Gilmore.
one.
Wedding Singer.
I would have to say underrated dark horse here. Mr. Deeds, I think is a really fantastic
Deedsy?
movie.
We're
Yeah.
Sneaky,
What's up,
sneaky?
Deedsy?
I
movie was
think
fun.
I think that was really, and I didn't. I would think I was in maybe early college, late high school when I saw it. When I first saw that, I didn't even realize it was like that was a movie already and stuff like that. But I saw it and I was like, this is a really funny film, and a lot of people don't talk about that as one of his great films. I think it's up there.
So, Michael,
I think it's
you've
less than the others.
you've been fortunate enough to hang out with Adam Sandler here and there.
Oh, I'm so fucking
A
jealous.
little bit. I'm not like best buddies with
Did
him.
you
but
ever-
yes,
I am
we
so
know each
jealous.
other. We're mutual. We're friends.
How much fun is it to be in that guy's crew? Do you think?
I mean, look, the best. Look, he's the nicest guy out there. Him and Tom Hanks are probably the nicest people.
Oh
there
yeah,
are.
we need to get this Tom Hanks.
yeah,
story.
you gotta
Well,
Tom
but let me
Hanks
tell you
We'll
something.
get there in a second.
Adam Sandler. I remember just in the movie Sorority Boys. I don't know if anybody saw that, but
Everybody saw.
I
Sorority
love the
Boys.
movie. I had a great time.
Stop
Marlon
acting like it's not a
Williams.
big deal. It was
Well,
a big
no,
deal.
but it didn't do well in the box office, and it was like
we
two
have
nights later.
the DVD's out there.
It is somewhere.
No, I mean
No,
it's
literally,
literally
we
out
have
there
it
in the
out
living
there.
room.
We're gonna watch it
It's
later.
Christine's favorite
We're
movie.
gonna get Alexis back over. We're gonna watch it.
Don't worry,
No.
we won't take your face.
We're hoping you never leave.
They're gonna wear my skin. Help me.
The camera's not even on.
Sandler comes up to me, and I was actually at some party. He was having one of his parties, and I had never met him. And he tapped on my shoulder and goes, "Hey, you were really funny in that movie." And I go, "What? What?" And he goes, "You were really funny in that movie. You guys were really funny. I really enjoyed your character and everything." And I go, "It made my life." And he sat there and talked to me, and I could tell he was like, Doesn't matter. It didn't do good. There's people out there is gonna freaking laugh at it.
Yeah.
People are gonna like it. Doesn't matter what everybody else says.
Were you like, please put me in Grown Ups 3?
I mean,
Are you
well,
making
that
that
time,
movie?
this was years ago, and then throughout the years, we started talking. When I see him places, we'd go in that, and then I did a show for him called Breaking In, which didn't last very long for Happy Madison. And then after this last movie, I got a call one day. He goes, "Hey, I'm Adam Sandler." And he's like, "Hey, buddy, I just saw the freaking trailer for your movie back in the day, man. It's funny stuff, man. Can you get me the movie? Get me a copy."
You're like, yes, you can have a copy.
And I
of my movie.
brought one to the office, hung out with him for a while, saw the movie, called me the next day. Him and his wife watched it, and he talked about the movie and the scenes and the characters and made my life.
That is awesome.
Honestly,
that's so
if
fucking
you ever hear
cool,
anything
man.
about it, don't ever talk shit about Sandler. Nicest
No
guy
one talks shit
in
about
the
Sandler.
business.
Next
can't
time
talk
you
about
see
it. People
him,
do.
next time you see him, you want to win more points with him. You show him an episode of A Conversation with Colin, where Colin defends the hell out of Adam Sandler.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. That's what we had a conversation about this, and I think Adam Sandler is like an American fucking treasure. Like really, like I'm not even being like facetious.
Yeah.
Like really one of the great comedians in film. Like
he
I've
made
ever.
a movie called 50 First Dates.
Yes, I saw
which
it. I saw it in the
I
theater.
thought was going to be stupid. I'll be honest with you. I was
And
like,
it
it's going to
touched
be
you.
another. I cried. I cried at the end of that film.
Yeah,
it was
he does
so
that.
good. That's what's so great about Adam
See-
Sandler is he just kind of gets you. You're like, this guy's so
Look,
unassuming.
has he made some of the? Sometimes people say not all his movies are going to be the. Look, there's a lot of times they're family oriented. They're not for everybody. You know, like my movie
Yeah.
back in the day isn't for everybody.
No.
It's for certain people. It's
for
for
13-year-old boys? That's
and
what
18-year-old boys
I'm
and
just joking.
40-year-old
It's
guys
the whole
like
month.
us.
Yes.
But it's for women. There's some romance. But yeah, it's for a certain.
We don't,
Not
no,
that much
no women
romance.
and no women watch this show. It's okay.
It's
You
okay.
got the target
It's
demographic.
dudes.
No, there's
Dudes.
like, according to the YouTube demographics, we have 5% women watching this.
I love
Registered
Registered
users.
Well, Colin, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. That's what you do all the time,
I
Nick.
know,
so
it's
like,
annoying
I
that
don't really
people
care. I never
tweet me
noticed
all
that.
the time
People
that
tweet
I-
you that, but I really don't see it.
I'm working on it.
I think Adam, like, yeah, like you're right because he set such a strong cadence for himself on SNL, and then with his first movies that were
Upper
really
Man.
strong, and that you can't. It's hard to, for him probably to surpass that the success he had.
Sustain.
Yeah, and but I think, but like, what was it? Remember, That's My Boy or whatever. What do you do?
I heard, by the way, I haven't seen it.
I'm just cleaning up the spill I had. I'm
spilled
sorry.
some
But let me
Hold on.
tell you something.
Oh,
You're
Jesus
naked,
Christ.
but do you know
I'm
that
not naked. I'm just shirtless.
That's My Boy I haven't seen yet, but my brother swears by it. He goes, watch it. He goes,
All
the
right.
first time you're like, the second time he goes,
Wait, which
it's
one?
hilarious.
You want to hear a story about That's My Boy?
I was gonna say, do you want to hear Colin's story?
I want
about
to hear a
That's
story
My
about
Boy?
That's My Boy.
No, because Greg had some buddies over from when he went to college in Mizzou or whatever, and we were on, I don't know what the fuck we were watching, something on PlayStation where we can, buy our movies, and that was on there, and I was like, we'll watch the
PlayStation
trailer.
store.
We watched the trailer. I didn't know if it was like Voodoo or something. We watched the trailer, and I was laughing. I'm like, this looks really funny, and everyone's like, oh, we don't want to watch it. And what did you end up watching instead, Greg?
Rock of Ages.
You watched Rock of fucking Ages
Is that
instead
the
of an
right
Adam Sandler movie.
the singing movie?
You made a bad mistake.
I want
It
to
was
watch.
majority rule.
Dude,
I
it
want
looks
that on
so-
my.
it
I want
looks
that on
so-
my. I want the
that-
record.
I still want to see that movie because I think it looks really funny.
We should watch it tonight. We'll keep drinking.
Majority.
I'm going to bed.
What about?
Yeah, good one.
Did you guys see the
Rosenbaum.
film Little Nicky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not one of his best.
No,
See,
no,
There's
but
always
for
gonna be
me,
one in there.
Who I was like 8 when I saw that.
You thought
and
it was funny.
the funny when he gets hit in the face with the shovel.
Oh my god, Tim.
Here's
Oh,
what I want to put
guys.
out there. I don't think Click gets enough credit.
Click was Gauze. Walken. There you
Yeah,
go.
Walken was in it and great. And
That's
you're
Bed
talking
Bath
about
and Beyond.
you're talking about
Let's do
tearing
it.
up
You
and
got
stuff.
it. I'm not
When
gonna
he
do it
tears
anymore.
up, when he dies at the end and stuff, or he's about to
Yeah,
die,
Way to
It was
go.
good. He has such an
he doesn't
unassuming.
really die.
He has such an unassuming way about him,
Plus-
and that's
plus
what's
Kate
that's what's so
Beckinsale.
powerful
It
about Adam
translates.
Sandler.
He's just a good guy. He's a sweetheart.
And it comes through
Comes through.
every time.
Yeah,
I agree.
and
All right.
he gets a lot of shit from people lately. People think he's falling off. I think he's fucking awesome, and
Yeah.
he's up there. He's really up there with like people like Rodney Dangerfield for me, like just dudes that are like fucking funny when you think about Back to School or Caddyshack.
Oh,
Like
Back
those
to
are
School.
iconic movies, and yeah, he did something maybe like Ladybugs later on, but that movie's funny too. You can
Ladybug's
find-
funny too. Yeah.
You can
I've
find.
never seen it. I should.
Yeah, Ladybugs is a great movie.
got it.
You probably get some new impressions from there.
Ladybugs?
Yeah.
With Rodney Dangerfield.
yeah.
And Jonathan Brandis.
Yep.
Yeah.
My,
seen that movie
my,
so many times.
my favorite line though from Rodney Dangerfield's Caddyshack. Hey Wang, it's a parking lot. What are you taking pictures for?
My favorite.
Somebody step on a duck.
my favorite line for you could do about me is like, it's my friend Wang, no offense or whatever.
Yeah, it's my friend Wang. No offense. All right. Hey, I'll take some of the Lady T's, 6 of those, 12 of these.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Is
The whole hat
Caddyshack
exchange.
Dangerfield's best film?
Looks
Do
good
think?
on you though.
Yeah, I love Back to School too.
I was
though.
a huge Back
Back
to
to
School
School was great.
Triple
Dad,
A.
you gotta be careful. She'll flunk you. Flunk me. Flunk her. Right?
Sam, that was like Sam Kennedy's last movie too, right?
Whose?
Sam Kennedy, the
Oh yeah.
Then he went to work.
God, God, he was so good.
Who's the
Burt Young.
the Kinnison, is that his name?
Sam Kinison.
Yeah,
Excuse me, not Sam Kennedy.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say. Then he
when
went to
he-
work at IGN.
No.
Sam Kinison when
Kinnison,
he
excuse
gives the Vietnam War speech in this class. That's
The
the fucking
38th parallel
and he pulls
speech.
the fucking desk down and throws it.
Yeah,
And
it's
everyone's all
awesome.
horrified.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Remember when she
Getting hot
says?
here.
Remember?
Yeah.
it
You want
is,
to open a window?
You know,
Crack that dough.
Tim, get over there.
Remember when
Come
Dan-
on, Tim. Chop chop.
Remember when Dangerfield
Pull up them blinds.
says, "Hey, I was wondering if you'd like to go on a date." She says, "I have class. How about tomorrow? I have class. Well, why don't you call me when you have no class?"
It's so good. He's so
He's
good.
so good. It's
You
old
really-
school humor.
Yeah,
I
no,
like,
love that.
you know, for the longest time I didn't get
Why
the
didn't
joke
you do
where
that
he's like,
an hour ago? I'm sweating my
he goes-
dick off.
You don't even look sweaty though.
he looks at the picture and he goes, here's you, here's him, what's with the midget? And I didn't get that joke for the longest time.
Hey, what's with the midget?
God.
Dude, the impression's perfect.
Oh, God.
Chevy.
Spot on.
Everybody gives Chevy shit, especially now.
Who gives
Let me tell you
Chevy
something.
shit?
Everybody
The
gives
cast
Chevy.
of Community.
Half of the community. He's a racist. He's a fucking comedian, is what he is.
It got awkward.
No.
He's not a racist.
My top like five on my
I
top
don't know
10
what
comedies
happened,
list.
but I honestly think he's one of the great. Look, Caddyshack, Fletch.
Just lean into that.
Seems
back
like
for a
old
little bit.
times. I mean, this guy is one of the. To me, he's one of the best.
He-
I mean, he was an
Chevy?
inspiration for me.
Oh, yeah.
Chevy.
Fletch is
So
one of the
I
best
know he
movies
gets a
I've
hard time, but he's probably not an easy guy. These old the guys get older.
He's hardcore.
Sure.
Whatever. I love him.
I still love Bill Murray. And I know that's not like a
I just
minority
watched-
opinion, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about
I
comedy.
just watched
80s
Zombieland
comedy.
for the
I
first time.
love Bill Murray.
Oh my god,
Just watched
so good.
Zombieland. Great
How
movie.
great is he in Zombieland?
So
What a
good.
surprise.
Good.
Talk
As
about a
himself.
movie where I never knew Bill Murray was going to.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm like-
BM. They show up at the BM, and I'm
Sorry,
like, who's
spoilers.
BM?
I mean,
Fuck you
Bill
if you ever
Murray.
watch Zombieland. Give me
Whoever
a
wrote
chance.
that,
Genius.
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 But by the way, best zombie movie ever. Let's go right now.
Oh fuck!
Man.
Now
Yeah,
you're
I
in my
know.
wheelhouse.
Okay, let's go. Baby.
I'm gonna go Shaun of the Dead.
Zombieland was good.
I love Shaun of the
Great
Dead.
choice. Great choice. Not mine.
Not yours. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go Dawn of the Dead, the original. Even
Not
though
the
I
Sarah
do,
Polley
I
one?
do,
Remake's
I do
awesome.
love the
I
Sarah
love
Polley
Zack
one.
Snyder's one.
Yeah, every time that comes on, I
watch it.
That was on the other day.
Sarah Polley.
I direct
Ving
message
Rhames.
James Gunn. I'm like, this is
He's
so
done
good.
the
This
best.
is so
He's the
good.
best.
He did such a good job with this.
Go ahead.
No, let's go around. Tim, zombie movies.
I think Shaun of the Dead. It has to be.
Man.
I don't know. I'm
No
thinking
way.
like
I love Shaun of
Like,
the
would
Dead.
you
I love
count
it.
something like I Am Legend or something as a zombie movie?
Sure.
Yeah, I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed that movie very
It's
much.
a great movie.
What are you gonna give me?
I'm gonna give you a hint. Dan O'Banion.
Is that an actor?
He co-wrote or wrote Alien,
Oh,
and then his next movie was a little movie
Evil Dead. No.
called Return
yes!
of the Living Dead.
Do you wanna party?
Let me tell you something.
God, that is
way
such a
movie
fantastic
is funny
movie.
and it's
Ah.
creepy and cool. And it's like, the morgue's open. Ernie's there. Done in 25 years.
But can you trust them?
Yeah.
I was in this movie Urban Legend years ago.
Yes, you were in that.
original
That was
Urban
an
Legend.
amazing
Urban
film.
Legend.
And I stole the cadence from the guy, and then he goes, well, typical army fuck up. They brought the bodies here.
You wanna see him?
Want to see him? And the phone rings.
Yeah.
And I did like something when I'm telling the story anyway. They knocked on the door in Urban Legend. No one ever knew that, but the director goes, are you like, there's something about when you say that, it reminds me of someone. I go, Return of the Living Dead. He goes, no! And he goes, do it, you gotta do it. We were the only ones that cared.
That's
But Return of the Living Dead, if you've never seen it, it's such a fun,
It's so
little
phenomenal.
horror movie.
It's a great. I own that DVD. I
Also,
love that
check out-
DVD.
Check out Urban Legends. That movie was actually really
No,
good.
not Legends. That
Legend,
one I
Urban
didn't
Legend.
see. The first one, however, I was in.
There you go.
That was fun. Jared Leto and
I have a bunch
Who
of
was the? I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but the what was her name?
Rebecca Gayheart.
Yeah, God, so hot.
She was hot.
Yeah, she
Is
was
she still
hot. What was
married?
she-
had a
Is
lot
she
of
still
fun.
married
What was
to
she in?
Mr.
McSteamy?
McWonderful?
What's his name? Grey's Anatomy
I don't
guy.
know. I haven't talked to her in a long time.
Oh man, she was gorgeous.
She was.
Yeah, she was
just
hot. I haven't seen her in a
beautiful.
long time. She was in some TV show for like that only lasted a season. I can't think of it.
Oh yeah.
She looked like she was just looked great. In
Oh,
that movie.
yeah.
I was in college.
Has anyone else here seen Return of the Living Dead?
No.
No,
Isn't that
I don't know what
surprising?
you're
I
talking
know.
about.
A bunch of people at work hadn't either, and a bunch of horror fans, and I brought it in one time and showed them, and it's like that, it's like so campy but awesome and scary at the same time. All you need to know about Returning of the Living Dead is that there's one character who is naked. It's a girl, naked the entire time,
How hot
so
is she?
they have to put a pasty over her vagina because they
I
couldn't
kept
show it that long
zooming
enough.
in as a child. I go, is that what I think I've never seen? What
So
that
good.
might be is.
And remember when they're like on the radio and he's like, "Wait a second, something's coming," and it's just a wave of them, and like she has that great scene. She's like,
Do you remember she's like, my
Christ, what a
biggest
flick.
fear is a bunch of old men and they're eating me alive. Whatever she said.
Tearing me apart,
I have
yeah.
no. Tim, this is the
We're
one
watching
movie
this.
I've never
We
seen.
have to. Oh my god, we gotta
He's
watch
like,
it tonight.
well, it doesn't make any sense. It's like you have no pulse. You have no.
You mean the movie's
your
long?
organs aren't, but yet you're talking. What are you trying to say, man? That we're dead? Well, you're obviously not dead, but oh man, you gotta
Send
I don't
more
watch it.
I'll give it a shot.
paramedics. More paramedics.
Great movie. Oh, it's a good movie.
So fucking good.
Last
telling
last
you.
comparison: Alien or Aliens?
Oh,
Alien.
Alien.
Somebody today on we were doing
Singular.
we recorded
Yeah,
a Game
singular.
Scoop today. We recorded a Game Scoop today, and I'd never heard this because I like the Alien movies fine.
Yeah,
I
they're
haven't
great.
watched them recently.
Iconic.
I only
But
watched
they were
the
talking about
first
the
two.
fact that the original movie is a horror movie and the other one is an army
Sci-fi.
movie.
No, they're
Sci-fi
both
thriller.
horror movies.
I think they're both horror
Don't
movies
agree?
too.
From what I remember, sure. I don't-
Alien is scarier and better.
Aliens is kind of fun. It's definitely like more of a comedy horror. But even back when I saw it for the first time as a kid, Aliens scared the shit out of me too.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I
scared
mean,
me.
and I heard that this could be, like kind of like,
Thank you for throwing it back that way.
sorry.
That's okay.
This could be a myth, but when James Cameron pitched a sequel to Alien, he went up on a chalkboard in front of the studio, supposedly.
There's
and
a
it
heart-
said
the heart of the
said,
ocean.
It said Alien, and he just went over and went and put an S.
And they're
in it.
like-
I hope
That's
that's
it.
true.
They're like genius.
That
Genius.
is the movie.
He's a genius.
Aliens.
God bless him.
Aliens.
I mean, I heard that was true, but I'll tell you what, that Alien, the first movie. I mean, let's if we're gonna are we ending this?
It a little bit.
But anyway, let's best taglines in the history of cinema.
Good lord.
Whatever you can remember. If you can
Oh,
remember
it's aliens.
A
right?
tagline.
Was it Aliens that was in space? No one can hear you scream.
That's one of the best ones ever.
one of the best ever made.
But I think Nightmare on Elm Street is
Which
better.
one was that?
If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all.
That is good. Also an excellent movie.
Jaws. See it before you go swimming.
Parental guidance has suggested that.
See, that's the thing. They don't say the taglines anymore.
They should.
I know, right? What do you think of this whole thing where they've petitioned now to shorten trailers and take out so much plot elements? Did you see this story this week?
Really?
There was a story this week because
you see the whole fucking movie?
Trailers are ruining fucking movies. So where you watching like I feel like I've seen everything. I don't want to see that. They're trying to scale them back, make them shorter, show less.
How about
That's a good
this?
thing.
I'm gonna give you a movie. You have to give me the
fuck
tagline.
me. Oh, this is
it's
gonna be
not.
hard.
No, it's gonna be. You're gonna make
Beat
it
me
up.
till
Oh,
he's
okay,
gone.
great.
So you're gonna make it up.
Go to Nick
All right?
first. Nick will be fun
So
to
here's
help.
where we're gonna go first.
All right.
We're gonna go Mr. Deeds.
Good lord.
Is that it?
No.
I
Mr.
got one.
Deeds, good lord.
We'll go for it.
I was gonna say Mr. Deeds, Opera Man gets rich. Wasn't that his name on Saturday Night Live? Did he do the
He
Opera
did
Boy?
do Opera Man.
Man.
Opera Man was the
Pizza
thing.
Man would have been a better one for that one. 'Cause he owns
Pizza
the
Man.
pizza shop.
Mr. Deeds is tough, isn't it?
Deeds
Yeah.
is good. What about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Want to do horror movies instead?
Yeah, let's do horror
That's
movies.
easy.
Let's do horror movies. Strangers. The Strangers.
Boy, we're all good.
Now all of us have to do it. We have
yeah,
to
let's
top
do
it.
it. All right,
See who
Tim,
gets
go.
the best. I have
This
no
is
idea.
so hard on the spot.
Just anything that comes to mind. You have.
You won't know who hit you.
Okay, that's it. I mean, he had to do something. It's off the top of his head.
Be careful who you meet.
Strangers.
You won't know where they come from or where they are, but they'll find you in your own home. The strangers.
Your parents are next door.
Can I change one?
Yes, you can change yours. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to change it to Mom always said not to get in their car. That's it.
I want to change mine too.
If you sit on your hand that you usually jerk off for 5 minutes and then jerk off with it, the strangers.
The strangers. That's how that is.
Yeah, both hands. Since it's plural.
This is a stranger.
Since it's plural, it's both hands.
What do you got? What do you got for me? Nothing?
Strangers.
What are you, English?
The strangers. Strangers. The strange. That's all I got.
They're
I got
strange.
nothing
That's
else.
not
I
bad.
had the most time to think.
Okay.
I got nothing. He's got like a fucking paragraph for his tagline. I got
I'm just
nothing
making
else.
it up. You
really
throw out a
good.
movie now, and we have to start over.
All right, let's do this one. Ready?
Do you like
Big-
this game?
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China.
This is so hard to
That's really hard because I don't think I've ever seen it.
You've never seen Big Trouble in Little China? Go home right now and watch
I know,
that.
I
I
need
mean, when
to.
you get back to LA, it's on Netflix.
Big Trouble in Little China. A head explodes in this movie.
True story.
All mine are to be very
it's all
honest.
marketing. It's all marketing.
Big Trouble in Little China. They should have made a sequel in the 80s. Because they should have made a sequel to that movie in the 80s.
Big Trouble in Little China. Who says your title can't be long?
There you go.
Throw out a horror movie, Nick.
Throw out a horror movie. Evil Dead.
All right. Go ahead.
Colin.
Evil Dead.
I swallow your soul. I swallow your soul.
Did you see the remake?
That one's kind of tough.
He doesn't do remakes, Nick.
Wait, did
No,
you
he
see
doesn't
it?
like remakes.
No, I didn't actually see it.
We interviewed the director,
Fede Alvarez.
and I got him to
was
watch
sick.
Nashville, a great ABC drama.
He admitted that was good.
And
Sounded
we interviewed the woman, and they made me want to watch that movie, and I was so motivated. I still haven't watched it almost a year later.
Oh, good. Good.
But I watched back in the day.
Because I love you.
Last night.
Take off your
He's real
jacket.
hot, he's real hot,
Why
he's
don't you
real
just
hot.
get rid? Why you?
We can wrap it up if we want.
No,
It's
no,
fine.
I'm
We should wrap it up.
Yeah,
we
we
should
should
wrap it up.
We should wrap it. It's getting hot as hell.
2
in
more
here.
minutes.
All right.
Oh, wow, we have gone over. 5 more minutes. When it's 1:40, we're done.
We'll go 5 minutes.
Let's go.
We never. Colin, what was your topic? Do you have a quick topic you want to go?
The topic I thought about, I don't know if you guys want to talk about this, is if you, it's just real simple. It's real
Go
simple.
ahead, throw it out.
If you have 5 senses, you had to just cut one out.
Oh shit.
What would it be?
Smell.
Give me all the senses real quick.
Well, touch,
Sure,
taste,
covered.
smell, sight, and hearing, right?
Smells stupid.
No, but
Smell-
smell is most of the way
That's
you
how you
taste food.
too.
See, my
Well, then that's not okay.
my answer's super boring. I'm gonna say smell because I already have a hard time smelling.
Touch, taste, sight, hearing, and touch.
What's the other one?
True story. When you
Touch, taste, sight, hearing,
smell.
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 Yeah.
You already
I'm
cut
gonna-
one out. You didn't even know.
I'm gonna go with.
There you go. That answers the
I'm gonna
question
go with
for you.
smell also
Oh,
because
yes.
for a long time I smoked cigarettes, and a little known fact about smoking cigarettes,
It makes you look really cool.
kills- It does. Maybe to some circles it does that,
Might be
but it
smell.
actually hurts your sense of smell.
I
actually-
might be
it kills
smell
your sense of smell.
because I want to be touched.
Yeah.
I want to see.
You want to see, you want to hear.
I want to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily need to smell
You
your
don't need to smell that.
stank ass breath.
You don't need that nasty shit.
Oh, your stank ass mouth.
You don't need it.
The thing about smell, is like, first off, I already have trouble smelling. That's why I like hot foods, I think. And then, if I couldn't smell at all and I couldn't taste that much, wouldn't I just eat healthier, maybe? Everything
You
tastes like
probably would.
mothballs anyway. Might as
You'd
well
eat
eat
broccoli.
carrots and.
Yeah.
I love broccoli already. Come on.
So
That's
you're
the
telling
fourth
me that
favorite
if I
food.
can't smell, things just don't taste good?
Correct.
Right.
No,
Well,
like,
think
I
about
think-
think about when you're stuffed up. When you're sick, does food taste as good?
You taste
Not
like the
as good.
core things. You
No.
taste like sweetness and saltiness and
all
stuff
I
like that.
need.
But you don't taste like the nuance of the food. with
Next
that
time you go to eat something, plug your nose.
But it's got to be smell, right?
As simple as that?
Yeah.
If
Just don't
I
smell. I don't
wasn't
think it's
Lex
as simple as that.
Luthor in the new movie, who should be the next Lex Luthor?
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
No, that's too easy.
want-
That's
I
too
love
Well,
Bryan
here's
Cranston
why it
bad.
shouldn't be. Because I think he's a genius. I fucking love him.
He's badass.
He's already bald, so everybody sees him,
Yup.
and they're gonna
Maybe
say,
that's why I'm
"Oh,
thinking
that.
so there's Breaking Bad as that guy."
Yeah.
If he had hair, it'd be different.
He was really good in the remake of Total Recall.
Listen, I think he's a genius. I'm
bad
never
guy.
gonna
yeah,
deny
he's a
that.
great bad guy.
I'm saying that I thought about he could be great, but then I was like, no.
It's
You
too
want-
easy. It's too
Too
easy.
easy.
I thought, and now you've kicked off a conversation I'd love to have with you for the next 8 years. But I thought Kevin Spacey was a great pick as Lex, right? I have a lot of problems with Superman Returns. It mainly boils down to being way too much Superman.
You were
in the
doing
movie.
you were Lex when that movie came out, right? Or
Yes,
was that
that's
TV
100%.
version.
There was a great
Yes.
story where you came up to him and one
Superman
set,
Returns.
and he's like, "Oh, my younger, dumber self," or something, and you're like, "Oh, the older, fatter me." And he's
Yeah,
like,
or something like that. I said.
I've read about them.
And I also
like
said
you.
something. I go. He was being interviewed
Not
by a bunch
creepy
of
at
people. I said, there he is. Hey, if you need to ask me any questions on how to do it, like joking, because we've worked together.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, oh, fuck you, Rosenbaum. You dick. I could play this fucking character. I'm an actor, damn it. He does this whole fucking thing with his...
why do you specialize in the most obscure types of
I
impersonations?
don't know. I remember I worked with him once.
Give me
and
House of Cards.
Oh, that's
I haven't really seen it.
so
It's
good.
Oh my
like,
God,
bad.
you have to watch it. It's so
Really?
good.
It's
Yeah,
dark?
That one
yeah.
in,
He
True
goes down on girls.
He does once. There's one scene where he does that. True Detective
While she's on her-
also really really good.
Haven't watched it yet.
McConaughey and Woody Harrelson on doing TV.
Yeah, that's a
So
pretty
good.
awesome group right there.
So good.
Who would be a good Lex Luthor?
Adam Sandler as Lex Luthor. Full circle. There you go.
How about
Superman!
Don Cheadle?
As Lex Luthor.
I'm down.
No, but I will take Idris Elba as Bond any day. Are you familiar with Idris Elba?
I know. Yes.
Love him. I would do him as Bond. That sounded bad.
It's because
There's
your
gotta be a better way
wife.
to say that.
Because your wife really likes him.
My wife loves him.
Who'd be a good Lex?
I think the Lex Luthor, whoever it is, has to have an intensity that is just. I want to see him just explode
be
with
iconic.
real, unadulterated, just
Jared Leto.
insanity. No.
Oh, I love Jared Leto.
Let me tell you, though,
Who do you
every actor the actor that keeps coming to mind with that ferocity,
Michael Rosenbaum.
they've been talking about him, is probably Joaquin Phoenix.
Wow.
I love Joaquin Phoenix. Too.
I
He's
think
great.
he'd be intense. But I have to say, he's already done Batman, but Christian Bale's so good. He's so intense. That guy.
That'd be
He's
crazy
badass.
if they.
But
That'd be
can't-
crazy if they did Christian Bale.
That'd be cool.
It'd be
Watch.
amazing.
Why can't people don't think outside the box? Oh, he played Batman. We can't cross pollinate.
Yeah, you're right, 100%.
We can't do that.
This is the whole problem with comic book movies in general, and why we get into a big problem, right?
Yeah.
Comic book fans like myself are used to a million different storylines. I can
Yeah.
you can give me Kingdom Come, and I'm like, I understand this is in a universe all to its own. It doesn't matter. But you
Right.
give somebody a new Spider-Man movie, they're like, how does this tie into the Tobey Maguire? It's like, no, it's not. It's different. It's not the fucking same. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you have to spell that
How
out.
about get the best guy for the job?
Right? No, 100%. Yeah.
That's it. Period. Period.
I like that.
Who else? Though? I can't think of anybody else I'd pick. I really can't.
Be fun.
Think.
How did you feel about the Affleck news? Affleck being Batman.
Look, I mean, here's the reality. He's baffled everybody. I mean, everybody could sit there and say, "Oh, he sucks. He does it." Guy is amazing.
He's super talented.
He's a
I think
great
super
actor.
talented.
He's a great director.
He's tall.
He can do it all.
And he's got great hair.
Listen, he's got something down there that's gonna like make everybody go, "Wow!"
12 inches.
Watch what happens because he's gonna surprise everybody. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna go,
Is he Oscar?
"Huh?"
Was he Oscar?
He was our Oscar.
What do you mean?
Little Pinky.
The dick.
Oh, he's Oscar the Dick.
He's got a lot down there. that
He
he's
can
got
do
going
it
on.
all. He can play a small penis.
No, I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. I want. He has my vote of confidence. I want to see him succeed in that.
I want that
there was
movie to be
rumors.
so fucking good.
There was rumors last week that he might have been bailing out of it.
Who's this?
Were those
I never
ever
saw
spelled?
that.
Yeah.
That'd be the stupidest thing in the world.
But I think the people would love that if he did. I mean, I have no
the
problem
people,
with
no
people.
offense.
I have no problem with it, but I think people are really upset
It's
about
one of those things where I was so young
Yeah.
and there was no internet and there was no Twitter or anything like that. But like I remember when Michael Keaton got cast as Batman, and my mom and like people on were like, "What? Like Mr. Mom is gonna be
He was
Batman?"
fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
Gung-ho,
Exactly.
baby,
the best
gung-ho.
one.
When he
was
shows
so
up and
good.
delivers, it doesn't matter. You know what I
He
mean?
was
It's like
the
when
best
Ben.
one.
For me, when I
Hands
when I
down.
think of Ben, what I'm excited to see is Ben Affleck in the cowl because Ben
Hands
Affleck's
down.
got such a great fucking chin, and to see that wrapped with the, it's gonna be
He
awesome,
wasn't the
I think.
best
Yeah,
Bruce
that'd be
Wayne.
great.
I think Bale was the
But
best
again-
Bruce Wayne. But
okay,
when it
fair
came
enough.
to actually being
I
the
don't know.
mask,
I think Christian Bale is phenomenal.
Yeah, I
He's-
thought he was
of
great.
course
Those
he's
movies were
phenomenal.
awesome.
Yeah.
Especially the third one.
If I could
Michael Keaton, I would choose him as the best Batman of all time.
Really?
If I could trade places with 3 people in the world, number 1, Michael Rosenbaum, just because he's kind of a badass. Keaton,
Barack Obama.
no way. I love Barack Obama's bad. He's coming under a lot of fire these days.
never
I'm not
really
gonna
You
go
know
for
who
it.
I would be? Liev Schreiber.
I would have been.
I'd change positions with him.
He's
to be
a
with Naomi
badass.
Watts.
Do you watch his new show
No,
on?
Naomi
on-
Watts is beautiful.
Oh yeah, they've been married
Liev
for a while.
Schreiber? I don't even
Liev
know.
Schreiber?
Schreiber?
You know him.
Schreiber?
I'm
He
sure I
played-
do.
He
Give me
played
a name.
Sabretooth in.
Thank you, done.
Scream.
Game
He was the
over.
bad guy in Scream. The guy who was in
Oh,
prison.
right, Cotton.
Cotton. Yes, yes, he was.
Big Scream fan.
He's
here.
awesome. Very tall guy. I think. I don't know. I've never met him.
Creepiest character in the history of cinema. Ted Levine on the top of that list.
Yeah,
probably
Ted
for Silence
Levine,
of the
number
Lambs.
1. Gotta be.
Ted Levine's so awesome too in Psych.
else?
By the way.
Pee-wee's
Or
Big
no,
Adventure.
Monk.
That lady in the truck.
Tell him the large Marge sent you.
God, you are just a wealth of movie knowledge. It's all right there.
You pull that out.
That used to
Come on,
scare. That used to
creepy.
scare the shit
That
out of me
scared
when I
the
was a kid.
shit out of
Yeah, I'm
me.
trying to think. Creepy.
Creepy. I mean, Pee Wee was definitely up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Poltergeist 2. You're all gonna die in here.
Oh, you
With the
know.
big teeth.
Yeah.
The old guy.
You know what's a good example of this? You'll appreciate this because I was thinking about this when you were talking about The Exorcist. Is the fucking, I guess Satan or whatever that they just clip
Oh,
in
right.
in the movie like for one frame like here and there. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
That shit
was
used to
creepy.
scare the fucking shit out of me when I was a kid. By the way, and I used to like have the tape and I'd be like, did I see that right? And then you go back and it's just it's like the fucking demon for like one frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking horrifying.
Oh,
so horrifying.
Pet Cemetery. Zelda. When she remember the real, she had spina bifida. She was like Rachel. You don't remember that?
Nah.
She was in the room all locked up. The real skinny one. Rachel, why won't you help me? You don't remember Rachel in
that's
Pet
freaky.
Cemetery?
Also-
Watch
I watched the
Google
USA
that.
version, the cut,
Oh,
USA
don't even bother.
Network.
They didn't show that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably didn't see that part.
Also, Isaac in Children of the Corn.
I'm gonna put out this is something I put out when IGN did an article, right? Scariest movies and all this crap. What my contribution was Michael Jackson Thriller. Because I used to watch the VHS at my uncle's house that had all the behind-the-scenes stuff on it. So it was like a feature-length film. But like that whole movie creeped me out. And the really creepy was the zombie who comes out of the fucking manhole cover and he's all fat. And he's like, "Bruh," and no, that did it for me. I could not do that. And then
The Siamese cats in Lady and the Tramp. They were creepy as shit.
Shining Twins.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
yes,
those are
have to be
iconic.
Actually, Jack Nicholson in The Shining was pretty damn creepy too. towards
But
the end
how
of the film.
about? All right, and here's the last question.
Sure. I'm glad you're hosting the show.
Best cameo in a movie with 3 lines or less.
Fuck me, dude.
Oh, that's hard. I can only think of recent ones. X-Men First Class. You had Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman's
All he
so
says
fucking awesome.
Is fuck off, and
That
then
was
they
great.
walk out of the bar. Not a great cameo,
Right.
but for fan service,
Yeah, it was
that
awesome
hysterical.
cameo. Are you kidding me?
How about
Hysterical.
30 nights of 30 Days of Night when the guy goes, she goes, oh God, oh God. Remember the guy has one line.
I don't think I saw that. No.
Didn't see it.
Who was
Or
that?
how about
that
Christmas Vacation package with Clark W. Christmas?
Who was the actor?
Merry Christmas. The guy is a delivery. He's supposed to. He gives him the. You don't
But
remember
who
what
was
he
it?
talks
Was
about?
it?
Who was the actor?
No, buddy. It was just
What kind of cameo is that? That's just a shitty part.
People are gonna hate me.
Best cameo is Oscar, and back in the day, then.
That's true.
Dick in the air.
People are gonna hate me for this, but I love him.
People
M. Night
hate you on
Shyamalan in Signs. Loved that cameo. Always in his own movies with a Hitchcock kind of way. But
yeah.
but I love that he was actually the guy who killed Mel Gibson's wife. I thought that was a nice.
All right,
choice.
give an eye.
I locked one of them in my
If
pantry.
you like Signs, say aye.
I.
I brought that up earlier. We were talking about horror movies.
Joaquin-
Signs.
Joaquin-
If you like The Village, say aye.
Aye. That's the best
Aye.
one. That's the best one.
The
that he's done.
best
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Not me.
that's
No.
his best movie.
Bullshit.
That's his best movie.
No,
One of the
Signs
reasons,
is
the
best.
only reason I didn't like The Village is because someone actually spoiled the ending of that for me.
Oh, dude! I was in Philadelphia with my brother, seeing it with him and his wife when I was in college, and she came at. We were watching whatever, and she leans over and she's like, "It's present day."
What a fucking
And I was,
bitch.
and I
You
was
just
like, no.
spoiled it for everyone
And
that's
I'm like,
watching
no,
this.
no, and
and
I'm
seeing
like,
it.
no, it's not. It was like 10 minutes in. I'm like, fuck.
Wait,
how
was
did
she?
you know that?
Did she spoil it? Oh, she just guessed.
Yeah.
This is my problem watching my movies or TV shows with my mom. When I was a kid, she
my
was an
mom
adult,
guesses
so she was
incessantly.
able to figure out, like, we'd watch like murder mysteries or whatever, and she'd figure it out way before me. Like, damn it, mom.
Indiana Jones or Han Solo?
Han.
Indiana Jones and Crystal Skull.
That's tough.
Any Indiana Jones
Are you
or
fucking
any
kidding me?
Han Solo?
I am,
Dude,
I am totally
Han in
kidding.
Empire, the I love you, I know. It's just the best thing.
That was improvised.
I know, and that makes it even
That's
better.
real.
hard.
And then he
That's
blew.
really
Then he
hard.
blew Darth, but that was cut out.
Yeah, I saw that special. I saw that scene it's on YouTube. Just Google blowing Darth Vader.
I go.
No. Tweet at
Don't
Tim
Google that.
blowing Darth
Dude,
Vader.
Indy's so
At Tim
badass though.
Geddes.
Like Han Solo is fucking badass. Don't get me wrong, but Indy is just next level.
Well, see, that's the reason why Indy
I
was
would go
so
with
good.
Indiana Jones.
I would argue that Indy's not badass. He did cool stuff, but it was always sort of a comedy of errors with him. Like he would always kind of screw something up.
Like
Same
when
with
he was
Han.
in-
Han
when
would
he
always
was-
screw something up too. That was
when-
like that was the power of those characters,
Who
right?
was
They were so
telling me-
flawed.
Who was telling the story though about Indiana Jones? Right? Weren't we talking about this recently? Where like he doesn't change anything in the movie he's in. Weren't we talking about this? Where like
No.
who was I talking to about this? Where they were like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, if he wasn't there, like nothing would have changed. That someone had like brought. Was it? I could have sworn
in
I was
Raiders of
talking.
the Lost Ark, if nothing happened, if they had just opened the Ark, they
Right.
all would have died no matter what.
Man, I must have
so
been
no
with-
matter what he did in that film,
Right, it must have been with you. I was
no, we
talking.
weren't talking about
Don't
that. That's a
let
really good
Marion-
point.
Someone
you
was,
think about it.
someone was saying something like it doesn't matter, and nothing that happens in Raiders of the Lost Ark matters because nothing changes based on what
But it
Indiana
has
Jones
one
does.
of the most iconic scenes in film history. Well, two: the running from the ball, and then the diving off the
running
ship.
from the ball.
I mean, the big ball.
Yeah, the
And then,
boulder.
and then jumping off the boulder, giant rock thing, and then he jumps off the ship and he winds up on the submarine, and you get that awesome John Williams theme, and he's just like, "What up?" and everyone else in the ship's like, "What up?"
No idea what he's talking about. That's how iconic it is.
Yeah, that's
Really?
nuts.
You
That's
don't remember
really
that scene?
Brought to you by Gatorade.
Do you watch a lot of ESPN then? I assume because you do this Gatorade impersonation. Do you know?
I've never seen it.
well, no,
What
I'm
is ESPN?
No, I'm saying there's also a female voice that my girlfriend hates where she like it's during PTI and like around the horn where she like sounds so perverted when she's doing. Have you ever seen? those
Whoa! Give me an impression.
I can't do it. She's like she's like brought to you by Guinness Black Lager. Like she like it's like all like hyper sexualized and weird. And every time my girlfriend hears, she's like, "What the fuck is this woman doing?" If you're ever in your house in the afternoon and you're watching those shows,
in your house.
In your house.
And you're in your house. Watch that, and I'm sure you can make an impression out of that. It'll be just as good as the Gatorade impression, Greg.
Can I come back whenever I want?
Anytime. You
Come
are
back
welcome.
literally
anytime.
next week or tomorrow.
I
It's
still
totally
think
fine.
you should move here.
We'd like you
Or
if you were here.
hire us all as PAs.
So
and
wait,
we'll live here.
if I quit everything I'm doing and just said I'm moving to San Francisco to do this with you guys on this night.
Every day. We
do
would
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Every day.
Really?
Yep.
How much does it pay?
No.
Zero
Nope.
money.
Oh, I'm totally in.
No, we don't have that
No, this has
Smallville
been a
money
treat.
coming in.
No, this is a treat.
Thank you so much for joining us, by the way.
This has
It's
been
so
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah, we're glad you had fun. Thank you.
I had a
My
blast.
father?
I really
This is
like
good.
this.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
Dad?
How many times did you use Dad? You didn't use Dad enough.
Didn't
Yeah,
say
that
it.
sucks.
They didn't address each other really like with a need for that. You don't want to force it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to
If
force
you were to do In a World with this show and introducing all of us, how would you do it?
Oh, Tim, looking to you for this one.
Anybody, go
Give
for
the
it.
Game Over Greggy show the tagline.
We don't have a
All
tagline.
roads lead to
That's-
this.
Wow, that's actually a really good tagline for
That's
the show.
perfect. It's very dramatic.
In a world where four friends talk around four mics, all roads lead to this.
And Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Also,
and
I'm
come
going
up
with
every
I'm
week.
going with Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones for this one. I got to go with Indy on this one. He's the OG. No, he wasn't the OG.
He
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
the OG.
Han was
the
before.
OG, but
R2
Damn
or
it.
C3PO?
R2. No one likes
R2.
C-3PO.
You know, I'm reading a book.
C-3PO's rubbish.
I'm reading those
Rubbish.
books about. I'm reading those books.
He was the bitch of the whole series.
Uncle Owen or Aunt Beru?
Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen. But
No
Amber
way.
was.
I love it. So here's the
Uncle
thing.
Owen had the hard love.
Your topic from now on, because I believe you will do the show with us again, it's got to be the either or. You just keep going with the either
That's
or. You
it.
pick one or the other, and that's going to be your thing.
By the way,
That's your segment.
just as a real quick aside, I'm reading those J.W. Rensler books about the making of Star Wars, The Empire and Jedi, whatever, 3 books. Anthony Daniels apparently was like a big complainer about being 3PO. He was always complaining about
Probably
stuff.
hard to sit
Yeah.
there. Obi-Wan or Yoda?
Oh, that's tough. Yoda.
I like how you comment in on what we're talking about just to derail it.
Yoda.
Oh, you want to be a huge bitch? Oh, almost had Emperor I did. Now I go to exile, kill whole galaxy. Bitch.
Yeah, at least
Go
Obi-Wan.
live on
Neither
swamp
one.
planet, eat poop.
Neither one went out very well. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to pick between those two.
No, but we just pretend the prequels don't exist, and if you don't know that they don't, that they
Then
don't exist in April.
Jar Jar Binks or an Ewok?
Ewoks.
Gatorade.
Hands down.
Gatorade.
All right, I take a shit.
All right, everybody, that's another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. Remember, once a week, 4 to 5 friends get together, each with a topic. We celebrate it with you. Friday, you can get the MP3 at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. Then, Monday, over on GameOverGreggy.com, you can get the YouTube video for free.
Brought to you by...
Not nobody. No,
Everybody.
don't help
No,
them.
yeah, don't help
Nobody
them.
has brought Game Over
We
Greggy
need
to you.
sponsors
No
on
one
this
is
show
helping
badly.
you.
If you wanna
wanna
sponsor this show,
it? You email Nick.
Email me.
What's your email?
And no, I'm not giving my email. I'm not giving my email.
So close.
I'm not giving
So
my
close.
Tweet at me, Jack Daniels or any bourbon.
I was
if
gonna
you make
say,
a bourbon, tweet at Nick_Scarpino. You can sponsor the show for $5.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Follow us all on Twitter. Buy our t-shirts. Go buy Back in the Day. It's available everywhere right now on all your streaming services. Michael, we love you a lot.
I love you a lot. And
Thank you
tweet
so
me. And tweet all of us. We'll tweet you back.
What's your Twitter?
What's my twatter?
What's your twat? Are you twatting?
It's
At M. Rosenbaum 711.
what is 7-Eleven all about?
Because 7-Eleven's awesome.
It's my birthday.
Is it really?
7-Eleven,
I
yeah.
used to hang out in college at 7-Elevens and smoke cigarettes outside and make fun of people as they walked in.
So you're like,
But they're
silent,
making
you're like
fun of you
Silent
for
Bob?
standing outside the 7-Eleven.
Sadly, that's what I came to realize, so I stopped doing that. Well, it's like a people aquarium. in
Mike
there.
Judge.
Terrible.
Oh my god, I gotta stretch. Hey, look, here's
Thanks,
this.
guys.
Oh, I thought that was Han Solo. It's not.
No, that's a gift from the Skybound Entertainment. Thank you so much for sending that. Walking Dead. Go buy. Oh my God, yes.
All right, I think we're cut.
Yeah.
No, I decide when we're cut.